and welcome back to Roll for Story, The Clawed Coast. Alright, last session we left off the party were still in the Molten Monastery and trying to figure out what the hell had happened to poor old Llewellyn, who was stuck in another dimension, inside another dimension, inside another dimension. And he was there inside a Taco Bell, inside a KFC, inside his brain. So,
And
where
turn
is
to
he?
stone.
That's right, and turn to stone.
Well, of
Right.
course, he went to Taco Bell. Of course, he was stoned.
Ah, yeah, true. The rest of the party were coming up with these wild ideas and ways to bring him back, unbeknownst that he was in the midst of a negotiation with Zarban, who was apparently either the leader or at least a very high-ranking member of the Syndicate Apogee, the planar thieves, planar mercenaries, planar mercantile guild. Regardless of what they are, they seem to have many hands and many pockets, quite literally, because this individual had like bluish skin, 4 arms, and, and his clothing was made of like a metallic-like material. It was kind of wavy, like almost like water you've never seen before. And he spoke of the owner of the book that you had. He asked about Senrith, where he was, what he had been up to, and whether you could track him down for them. Seems like you were the last person to see him before he disappeared. So they're interested in where he is. They're also interested in completing the collection of the scrolls. They have made copies of the others, but they are missing the ones that Khan had originally.
Gesundheit. Bless you.
And then following that kind of semi-agreement, they would send you back to your allies in exchange for this. And as the party were almost kind of walking around inside the monastery, they were sent a message, and they were to track down the merfolk name of Kashinko, and she was still here apparently within the plane of fire. He tracked her down with the use of Opal's scrying spell and located them. You also did try and dip your toes in the water, so to speak, of that bag of devouring, and you noped out as fast as you went in. But yeah, what happened next was it seems as though Kashiko had charmed these two salamander-like creatures and started to negotiate. It was an absolute no from Kashan to trade over his scrolls, but the Velen finally teleported in and tried to speak on their behalf, and an agreement was finally met. You got the Star Sapphire in exchange for the bag of devouring, and the next part is the scrolls for the scrolls. So, Irina, Kashan, you kind of come to the back room. The Velen's given you Quincy if you wish to use him to aid
Sorrow.
you in this. Oh yeah, sorry. If you wish to use him in aiding your forgery, but right now you're sat kind of writing these copies out. So I'll hand it over to you guys.
Okay. So I have written the things. But what I'm going to do is Irina will kind of like sit down around this table. Like I need from like Kashan like a brief overview, not like details, of like what the scrolls contain in theory.
Okay.
So like if you've got a spell scroll, it's got a list of like components and the visual, the verbal, the somatic, things like that, and it gives you a breakdown of how to cast the spell. So I assume your scrolls have sort of a. Obviously, when we went to the archipelago, I imagine it had some form of like clue or whatever to lead you there.
So to speak.
Okay. So for each of the scrolls, I need just sort of a minor detail, like, what kind of clues are they? Places? Are they?
Well, I was thinking, because of course they already know that it's a place in it's floating islands within the sky. Maybe of course we can make that part sound legitimate,
Okay.
but then everything afterwards is false. So for example, perhaps we could lead them towards the buzzies
Okay.
and say that they need to get a certain patch of soil, something very monk sounding.
So how many scrolls have we got to do?
2.
Like out of game, I already know because I've already sorted this out. It's more than 2.
More than 2?
More than 2?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got.
But we don't have the other ones. They want copies of the ones that we have.
You've already got copies of the
Chris, you're
ones
muted.
that. Yeah, what?
You have a lot of scrolls. For every feature the monk gets, there is a scroll. Like purity of body, tongue of sun and moon, wholeness of body,
Yeah.
stillness of mind. Yeah, exactly.
So the ones that you've played, there's ones before that, before
Right.
level 10, before level 10.
Effectively, yes.
You've got the ones you've already studied as well that you
Yeah.
already know.
Yeah, when you met us, you'd already done some of the pilgrimage up to
Exactly.
level 10.
Oh, I
Exactly.
see.
When did you meet Kishan?
Level 10.
So the five,
We-
the 5 that we have that
Where?
I've done are the 5 that they've
Feywild.
not done.
Feywild, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That
was right?
before level 10. Or were we level 10 in the Fey? I forget.
Level 10.
You were level 10, and at that point, Kashan, your pilgrimage was already well underway, and you'd already kind of gone to many different temples, locales, and already you were an established disciple, and you've read through many of the scrolls and learnt their teachings. You were pretty much like the, I guess, the most experienced. What's the word? You're the
You are
most
the chosen
potentially
one!
yeah, not chosen one necessarily, but you were definitely the most capable monk there in the monastery who was able to go out and still journey. There were masters there who were obviously older and wiser, but you were still young, and you were also the one who came across the candle. You kind of uncovered, even though he wasn't supposed to disturb Ludovi's meditation, you were the one who went in there and discovered that he had disappeared and only left frozen flame in its place. So almost, you kind of almost chose yourself in a weird way.
Okay. Then I have many scrolls.
You do, yeah, but it's all good. We're not going to write out everything, of course. An excerpt is enough to kind of get the message.
Well, they don't know what's on the scrolls, so
But yeah, we can concentrate on Tongue and Sun and Moon for now, at least.
excuse me, I have not spent the last hour writing these out to only do one of them. Thank you.
Oh my lord.
It won't take long. They're not very long.
Okay.
So I've got the first one here is stillness of the mind.
Okay.
So I found myself within a sea of statues, each marble sculpture a captured moment, a frozen expression of movement, of emotion, all meticulously documented in stone. The quiet that surrounds me now is pivotal, as though nothing exists in this moment, and yet every inch of this garden contains the entire world of sound and emotion. It sweeps over me like a wave. I look around at the faces, the hands, the tiniest details, and I can see it. I can hear it. Even in this unmoving, silent garden, I see and sense the movement of all people, as though the artist took real people and pinned them in place to share this monochrome moment with the time of the universe. It is both frightening and gloriously charming all at once, and for a moment I almost find myself joining them in their frozen world.
You wrote that?
In an hour?
Yeah.
Less than an hour, because I did 5 of these.
Wow.
Damn. Okay, yeah. So, are you writing an exact copy of this one?
Well, no, this is the fake one, because I don't know what's in the real scrolls. That's
It's
why I was
almost as
saying
good
to
as
Kashan,
the
I just
real-
need to know kind of like an idea of what it is. So obviously, stillness of mind is obviously against frighten and charm, right? So to be confronted by
correct.
all these still statues
What does
would be
the
both scary, but the art would be like incredible. So
what
for him
does
to
the
move
scroll
through this and
really say?
appreciate it for
It's like-
what it is.
Stand in front of a bear, really still.
The
Don't
re-
run away.
Well, the real scroll would be something very akin to that ilk, but
It needs
just
to
slightly
still
different.
sound like Ladoru, but not.
Oh yeah, you nailed that part for sure. In fact, you could definitely mistake this for the real thing. But effectively, Kishan, each scroll is supposed to represent a moment of revelation and reflection.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps he's just reached the top of a mountain, he's overlooking the view, and sits down to meditate. And whilst in that deep meditation, he comes to some sort of enlightenment.
There is
He then
one
tries to
involving a
describe
mountain, by the way.
Okay.
He then tries to describe that moment in the scroll, but of course, as you can imagine, it's hard to put those kind of things and feelings into words. That's why Ladorvu's urged you, the reader, seek out these places, these same locales, in order to sort of replicate that same enlightenment moment. And each scroll, between like writing one and another, could be years worth of travel and meditation. They're like the sum of all of the lessons they've learned over that time, the culmination of those eureka moments.
My favorite part about this is when they roll a natural one for their forgery, and we have to pretend that that it's absolute garbage.
Well, Irina, if you wish to read the next one, go ahead.
Hell
Yep.
yeah.
You can see that Irina's kind of like pulled out a very, very small book. It's only about this big, and it looks like it's been sort of like hand stitched together, and it's all mixed different pieces of paper, so no two sheets of paper are like the same, and you can see there's like loads of like scribblings and things stuck in there. But she seems to be kind of like referencing it as she's going through them.
You make your books out of paper and not skin? What?
I know, like crazy, right? It's
Yeah,
disgusting.
yeah.
An abomination.
Dead trees instead dead
Like,
people.
technically, Irina was a tree at one point, so classified as skin tone?
Was you? Oh yes, so you
Yeah.
were.
With the sigil.
Oh, we have that in common. We're both trees at one point.
So
Wow.
the next one I have got is Body of Purity. I finally may have done the stupid thing, though I confess I do not regret it. It should have been blindingly obvious not to go near a snake that huge. The village below the mountain was infested with rotten ruin. Many blamed it on the being living in the caves above. I tracked it for days in the jungle below its nest. I wasn't aware it was luring me close. Foolishly, I followed it to the labyrinth it called its home. That may have been one of my less wise ideas. A thick fog filled the corridors. It quickly disoriented me. The snake had seen its chance and taken it. A large fang has punctured my side. It didn't take long for the poison to take hold. Whatever it is quickly started to decay my flesh, like a moth in a wardrobe over time. I have never felt this close to death, and my hands begin to shake as I write this. How is it possible for the snake to live with such toxin in the air and venom in its body? How does it find a balance within itself to maintain its own life? Or perhaps the creature has found a way to purge itself? Wouldn't that be a feat? To create an internal cycle within oneself, to purify any foreign substance from within. I should like to find a way. I would hate for my journey to end here.
That's
again.
That's
They're
amazing.
really good. They're
Jeez.
fantastic. I like to think that because this is definitely one of the early monk features, it's showing a sign where Ludovic was
I've
young.
tried to do them in
stupid.
order of
Yeah,
Mm.
level
sure.
that you acquire
Like,
them, because then obviously
Ludovic,
as he progresses his journey, it makes more
absolutely.
sense.
Yeah, for sure. Ludovic was not perfect from the moment he stepped out. You know, he made mistakes along the way. He stumbled. He was close to death in this moment, a sign of weakness. And it's in persevering and adapting that shows how he has survived and how he's reached this pinnacle. Excellent.
Some professional shit right there.
Yeah.
So the next one is tranquility. There is a point on this land I have discovered that spans an infinity, a vast expanse of blue that passes beyond the horizon and beyond the skies. I landed here by chance, weary from travel. I sit here upon my small raft and try to navigate my way, but there are no stars in the sky. I see nothing, simply the calming shade of blue that feeds and warms my soul. I feel strangely rejuvenated. It takes me a moment to center myself, to breathe in the color around me. I feel it envelop me in a safe embrace, the warmth of the fires of life. Many might liken it to the light of the mother herself. Were there a way to bottle this security for my own, to take it with me on my travels? I've already lost track of the days I have spent here. If I do not find a way to contain this and take it for my own, I confess I may never leave this sanctuary. And of course, you can use
Sounds like the
sanctuary
code.
as a result.
Does it also say in like fine writing at the bottom the sanctuary spell sucks?
And
No.
that as-
Yeah.
Oh wait.
That's the
Does
fine
it-
print written on the back.
I mean, the monk actually has the best version of that spell because
does,
it's
yeah.
like, you're going to try to surprise attack me. Not if you fail this wisdom save.
Exactly.
Still sucks.
It
don't
doesn't suck
know.
completely. I've seen it save lives before, so don't knock it.
But for one to end my life, first they need to be alive long enough
Think about it.
to threaten my
Think
life.
about it as an extra defense. Because would you say, like, for example, would you say the cloak of displacement sucks?
Hell no.
No.
It's
'cause you pick
basically
that out
the same
yourself.
thing.
Exactly.
It's
In order
an
to hit
extra
you,
layer of
they have to.
defense.
But
There's
it
an extra
happens
layer.
all
of
the
defense.
time, not once per day. Anyway, on to the next one.
I think the next one is personally my favorite, which is wholeness of body. So obviously it's the one where you can heal yourself from within. If I could ever write to my past self, I would highly recommend not throwing yourself off a mountaintop. It's an idea that nearly causes your untimely demise. You heard a rumor of a golden dragon atop a mountain, one who grew jealous of its unhatched younger sibling. It grew so jealous that it threw said egg from the mountain. Only a rumor, of course, but you, you ridiculously optimistic fool, you decided the best way to track its whereabouts was to hurl yourself from the mountain. You awakened several days later in a run-down shack. A father and son found you about halfway up the mountain, broken and on the cusp of death. Not only were you feverishly stupid, but you were unceremoniously stubborn. You decided that this was not your day to die, for which I'm certainly grateful. The father will teach you. You must not ignore what he has to say. Had you listened to him from day one, you would have been on your feet much faster. As it stands, you will listen and learn from him. You will learn to knit yourself back together. I caution you, though, fixing the body is much easier than fixing the soul.
Nice.
I love the
Nice.
yeah.
Again, top marks because
I
Yeah.
love the idea. I love the idea that Kashan went to a mountaintop to follow Ladova and was looking over the edge like.
We don't talk about the heckin'
Really?
chonkers.
How slow fall
We
comes
do
in
not
handy.
talk about the heckin'
Definitely-
chonkers.
It was definitely the heckin' chonkers.
It was definitely not the heckin' chonkers.
I also kind of like some sort of weird loop in that, like, he went to try to follow this egg, and now Kashan has an egg.
I know, right? That was a nice little nod.
I could just
And
imagine.
Actually, fun fact, it's actually the backstory of one of Kirsty's
Yep.
character in our Tuesday. Yeah, you got it.
Yep,
in
I
our
got it.
Tuesday
Wow.
campaign.
I honestly can just imagine Kashan looking over the edge like, I've got to do what?
Excuse me, bitch.
Not to mention the last little thing about basically having a moment of realization the body is easier to heal than the soul.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little, the word, foreshadowing of the next of what's to come.
I
There
think
is a scroll later which talks about the diamond soul.
Involves yeeting off a mountain.
No,
Eating into a mountain with
Right.
very pointy edges.
it involves talking about repairing the soul, which is something that Adolfo has definitely experienced.
What all-
Of course.
The diamond soul, yeah, that makes sense.
what also makes me laugh is the fact that both these monks jumped off a mountain and then halfway down probably remembered they had slow fall and didn't use it. Because
might
they
not
get
have-
because they get that before the one that
Yep.
is jumping off the mountain.
No key points.
No key points yet.
It's a key point to
So
make.
the final one is obviously Tongue of the Sun and Moon, which is obviously the one that we're most concerned about in general. I have never seen anything quite like it. A land that lives amongst the stars. It was by the will of the wind that I came to find it at all. I'd found a map upon a land of crystals, bespelled by a magical aura. A layer above the inked map upon which a series of small islands moved around, like tiny ships. I followed the one that seemed the closest to me. It landed to the east at nightfall in midwinter, and I watched it as its otherworldly occupants disembarked to make camp for the evening. Not a vessel or a ship, but an island, an entire island. I took a few months of sitting within their sight before any of them dared approach me, but in my watching vigil they seemed to deem me worthy. One man, taller than any man I have seen before, placed a hand upon my head and spoke without words. A trial of understanding he would offer me, a trial I may not speak of. It is a trial very few pass, but it is offered to those who seek to better understand those that inhabit this world.
Damn.
Nice. Nice.
Very nice.
Sounds about right.
And it's indirect. I love it.
Yep.
And I was like, there are many of these floating islands,
Mm-hmm.
which is technically not a lie.
Yep.
And, send them as far east as possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's where we find out that the Stratos like you guys just ended up there.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn it, it's in the east now.
Float the other way.
Or it might be that they come to the same revelation because you wrote these so damn well. They could be the art of Ludovic himself.
I mean,
Could be that they experience their own moment of enlightenment.
But not only that, he said amongst the stars, so as far as they might be aware, they've got to go all the way up into the stratosphere just to find them.
Oh, they could be going to the Tears of Saloon, because that's technically like an asteroid belt that's inhabited.
who knows?
Floating islands. Floating islands.
What was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
island called? Archistratospherigo?
The stratospherical. What?
I don't know why, but that just makes me think that you should find Strahd there. I don't know why, like Archistratospherigo.
That's where he went after we killed him.
Yeah, he just.
All right, I
Stratosphere.
can't have this land. I will make my own.
Yeah. I shall go
Damn it,
to the
no,
one
no.
place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism.
Now I
Aye.
want an entire island that's a mimic.
I want the rest of those. When are you doing the rest of those?
When I find out what they are.
Yep. Because, Chris, I just got one more.
You just got Diamond Soul, rather.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have.
So, Chris, your turn.
Yeah, I wasn't as prepared as Irina, that's for sure. But
They already had this one, right?
they did, yeah.
Did they manage to make a copy in that time? Do we know?
They wouldn't have because they only just started making copies because I asked them to. Which means they wouldn't have made a copy of this
They've
one.
made copies.
They also probably would
They've
have
had them for
studied.
ages.
Yeah,
They've
they've
had
had
the
those
complete
since
part.
Weep.
That's
They've had an
true.
entire arc and a bit since then.
I'm surprised
Yeah.
they were able to decipher it.
But then,
Well, think about it. If we go back to one of the other ones they had deciphered it, but they hadn't deciphered it quite correctly. As we identified, these guys seem to have got some of Ladorvu's teachings, but there was something off about them. So perhaps for someone trying to study it with the seeking enlightenment, they'll get a path, but perhaps not the true path.
Right. Also, Chris,
It's
if
weird.
I may, can I give Irina inspiration for that because
Yeah.
first of all, thank you, because I wasn't prepared at all, but all of those were absolutely incredible.
It was. I was going to give that, but I didn't want to interrupt. I see that Irina actually already has inspiration. So if you want, you can then give
That's inspiration that Andy gave me though, so that'll run out.
that.
Oh,
What?
can I
Oh,
have
that-
inspiration because I
that-
came up with the idea to forge them?
Oh, that's not a
Wait,
DM inspiration. That's Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bardic inspiration. That's
Right.
not a.
They're totally different, and I wouldn't.
Yeah, I
want you
know
to
they
mark
are. That's
them.
why I'm pointing out they're different.
Yeah, but don't mark that as inspiration.
Oh no,
on
it's
your
only because I
character.
forgot that I would have forgotten it otherwise.
Still have my inspiration.
All right. If you want to mark it though, don't put it as inspiration. Mark it as something like there's plenty of other icons.
You could probably pull it as a temporary effect.
Yeah.
Either way,
Mhm.
like yeah,
So have you got DM inspiration?
no,
You haven't. Okay. You do now.
okay.
It says you do on your sheet, by the way.
Yeah, I know. That's because I
That's fine.
marked that, so I didn't forget that
Right.
Andy had given me inspiration.
All right. That's not the same thing.
Yes, I know,
Right,
you've
let's
already
go on.
Right.
said-
Get on with it.
But the funny thing, I'd like Irina will sort of like finish up and kind of give them to you to sort of read through and make sure you're happy with them, and then they're not too close to the originals,
Mm.
because you know.
They're
she-
close in terms of feel and emotion.
Well, the funny
and
thing is
level.
that she'll kind of like show you the little book that she's got, and she'll kind of hand it to you. Like obviously, I keep my own travel journal with all my discoveries in it. This one was my mother's, and she was, of course, from the same monastery as you. So these may not be necessarily the scrolls, but they're her journeys.
This is incredible. It's like I'm
Technically,
discovering
they're following. Technically, they're following the way of the drunken master, but you know.
Yeah, we don't talk about that side of the monastery. It's like I'm rediscovering them all over again. They're perfect.
Good.
They're incredible.
Jesus Christ.
Get out.
I just hope that it's enough to get the actual copies back. Well, in fact, I guess we... Oh, no, we don't have them yet. We need to trade over the copy. Okay, let's go trade over the copies, because I want my scrolls.
I've already gone to Kashiko.
Yep. So you have. Go ahead, make your way there. She is waiting for you at the end of the bridge to the monastery.
Where is
I
she?
got stuff to speak.
Down here. Oh, no, that's a wall.
Didn't this like not have a door or something?
Ah! I knew that.
Anyway, while they're on their way here after doing all the forgery stuff, I would like to speak to Kashiko.
Okay, sure. Can't go through a door, Irina,
So,
because you got to open it first.
so with the fact
Alright.
that
Actually,
No one
technically,
else
I
is
could
here.
teleport through it. So.
So
But
with the
else
fact that no one else is here, even though they're coming at the moment, I would have been speaking to her about acquiring certain pieces of a list.
Okay.
Wow,
Dodge.
animation's so pretty.
Reappeared. I'm
Oh,
gonna pause. Go ahead. What were you saying? A disappearance of a.
Oh, what, sorry?
What would you say?
I think he's
Um,
inquiring about ingredients on his potion list.
Oh right. Okay. Yes.
I think.
While everybody is busy doing other things like forging
Sure.
and what.
What do you need these for? Actually, I don't care. What do you need? And
Uh,
what are you giving us?
But that is what I'm asking. What would the prices be to get like small objects like these?
Objects like what? What do you need?
I basically show a written out piece of paper of the pieces I'd need, not the full.
This this stuff's like really basic stuff.
Yeah, so that's why I'm hoping it shouldn't cost too much to get.
Yeah, but it's also not worth our time. Chica just gives you this stare. Like, really? Go
Surely
talk to an alchemist on the material or something.
that is, believe it or not, I've spoken to plenty of alchemists and not come across any of these.
Well, the poison's a little bit extra, but
Well, not the. I don't believe it's poisons I need. It's the other stuff, the awkward stuff. Get this within 30 days of each other, and
well, you're a wizard, aren't you? You can teleport about.
no, I can't.
Yeah, you can.
Not
Use like
always.
use those teleportation circles that are scattered all over the place.
I
That's what we
don't.
do.
I don't have that ability.
You don't have teleportation circle?
No, I travel on my own 2 feet like any other person.
Oh, that sucks. Awkward.
So what we're looking for is 1 measure of fresh phase spider venom,
You
one
can find
measure of
space spiders
fresh.
everywhere.
What?
Space
I've
spiders
never.
are pretty common.
You say that, but I've in all my traveling, I've not come across a single one.
How many caves have you been into recently?
Many have
Roll a
we traveled
perception
for a
check.
whole. We rolled for a whole mountain. Perception check.
Yeah, it's not a cave. Wait, what mountain?
Where we
The,
fought
the
the blinding one. That
yeah,
mountain.
perception check.
Oh
27.
yeah, that was a freezing cold one.
And it's also mostly flooded.
Yeah, it was also flooded. Yeah, which spiders aren't gonna like. They can't really
Huh.
swim.
For this.
She says you could just go to any old cave, probably. There's caves in the Clawed Coast.
Yeah, but then there's awkward ones like Betty Blood, but you need a
Betty-
phase spider to kill 'em. Brenda
Betty-
Blood, but you need Belladonna to kill him. Fowler's Heart, but killed by a wyvern. How do I get that stuff? But surely you can because you're like famous multi-dimensional merchants.
Like I said, yes, and we trade in mostly magical items, not always ingredients. Not to mention, some of this stuff, like you said, it has a shelf life. You would either need a bag of holding or a way to store them and
Or
preserve.
someone who can travel to the right points at a whim.
Like I
You
said,
get where I'm coming from? Someone who can travel to the right points in time and space at a whim.
are you referencing Terrings?
No,
I
I'm
mean,
I'm referencing them, multi-dimensional travelers who can
yeah,
travel to times and
this is like
points.
way below our pay grade.
And I'm still a customer. God, I should have spoke to someone who was going to be more serious about their job.
Our job is pretty stressful, and we have bigger fish to fry than some small ingredients like these.
Right? Do you have someone that is below you who might feel like this is a job for them? Get Blot. Bring Blot
Because
here.
hiring, no, first of all, Blood's better than I am at this kind of stuff, and secondly, no, we don't hire people because being mostly a secretive organization, having more people is going to leak information. The less people, the
So,
better. We only take in highly trained, specialized individuals. We don't have an army of little underlings who are making a mess of things. Too many
but
cooks spoil the broth.
if you guys are the only people that do this job, then how is there anyone ever trained to do the job? You can't just expect people to be like, yeah, I know multi-dimensional. How does that even work? If there's
You're
no
trained. You're pretty skilled. In fact, you got to a level of spellcasting that's pretty potent. We might approach someone like you and ask if there's something that you're looking for. If so, we might offer you a position to look for it whilst performing other jobs.
Are you trying to hire me right now, or?
I'm explaining your stupid question about how we can find people who are so powerful. You waltzed into here and you're really powerful.
It's true.
There you go. Now, are your friends done with those scrolls, or
Probably that, you know, this is a big part of his life, and he's got to like make sure that every little piece is right.
insight check?
Well, I'm not even with them. I don't know what they're doing, whether they're doing the real thing or whatever.
Okay. I don't know where Irina and Karis went, but you're gone apparently.
I was literally right there, but we've kind of vanished. We've slowly
Lead
moved
your
further and
focus.
further away.
Yeah, I disappeared.
We were like here.
Or drag yourselves back on. Don't know why you disappeared. Alright, well. So, all in all, you can try to persuade them all you like, but they don't seem to be interested in finding phase spider venom and such. Like, if it is that common, then you've either been overthinking it or you've been asking the wrong people, Evan.
Well, it's not the stuff like that. It's the stuff I have completely no clue about, like the Fowler's Heart, Brinda's Blood. Like,
Allah's,
what the hell is those things?
yeah, you'll have to. Did I
And
write that
kill.
to you?
Yeah. So what you wrote is Betty's Blood, but you need a phase spider to kill them first. Brinda's Blood, but Belladonna to kill them first. Fowler's Heart,
How
but
did you
killed by
acquire this
but killed
information?
by. You gave it me.
Yeah, I know, but how? The DM, didn't pass down through the heavens and hand it to you on a note of piece of paper, did I? Like
You
you
did.
obviously talked to Blug, and he said, "I
Yeah,
understand most of these ingredients, but some of them are blood, and I don't know how to I don't know how to like identify whose blood they are."
yeah,
So
but
how did you get?
there was a point at there was I can't remember exactly what I did, but it was someone or something I did at one point that gave me the rest of the ingredients. That's what I was saying to you last session. I
Yeah, I
have
want
them
to know what
all,
that is,
and I can't remember. But
because
you gave
if not, then you might have accidentally looked into the DM notes because
no.
when this came over from Roll20, GM notes became player notes, and you could see them all.
No, I think he'd
No.
seen this information before. Like, I just don't
Yeah.
remember exactly
But
where.
it was a point where you gave it to me and I wrote it into my biography, and then when you transferred over my character sheet, it's still there in my biography.
There in your Bible.
My
Bloody hell, you've got a
journal.
lot.
Yeah. But you gave me this information. I can't exactly remember where it was, but you did actually give me this information.
Okay.
I would have thought it would
I
be
remember, I
in
remember
the
speaking to you
hut
about
for
it.
some reason, and then you
Oh,
asked Blug about it.
Blood gave me the stuff except for those three, and
Yeah, so
then
you would have had the list before then.
but
Is my
then
point.
there was someone else or something else that I came across that gave me those, and I remember like speaking to you about it and being like, "What?"
This is after the Feywild arc.
It was after the Feywild.
When you so it's not being recent.
It would have to have been before we came over to Foundry, but after Feywild. I can't remember where.
I can't remember at all.
It
You've
was
got
You
the
in.
did.
name
It
of
was in
people.
week when you went just before all those assassins tried to kill you in the sewers, because you went specifically looking for
You
poisons.
did, but you did
And
actually give me this. Give me those names, and
Yeah,
I was.
I'm trying to. It must have been something extremely powerful in terms of divination magic to identify people's blood.
But I was just like, what even is that, Chris? And you were like, I'm not telling you.
Well, that's yeah. You clearly only have half of, like I've said, half the idea of what this is. You have
Yeah.
names of people's blood. So the potion you have is like the
Um,
last dregs of a potion. Remember, and you were
Mm.
having it identified.
looking at Llewellyn's character sheet on Roll20, it says your Grim Grocery lift given to you by Blug Blug, the Mandrake Alchemist. So I think
Yeah.
he had a bit of paper and then Blug Blug deciphered it possibly for him.
He did, but I don't think he remembers how to separate people's blood.
No,
Either way,
I think he like that was just one of the things that was on the list. Is like Brinda's blood? No idea what that is. Belladonna to kill them.
Yeah, that's what I was told. And I wrote it all down when you told me.
well,
And I was like, what?
yeah.
If I signed
At
to
the
roll
very,
20, if I signed to
you
roll
know who
20,
I think it was? I think it was your book. It was your
maybe.
book. Wasn't it?
Maybe it's when I put that piece of Baba Yaga into it or something. Instead of giving me a what's it called? Any sort of skill, it gave me information
Oh,
instead.
yeah, the information. Okay, possibly. That's the only way I can imagine you'd find out how there are several individuals' blood in here and of different names as well. The only way I can possibly think that is if the book told you directly, which makes more sense to me than any of these other ideas. An alchemist can't just go, this is Jamie's blood and also Cameron's blood. Like, you can't. You just physically can't tell that.
Has to
Like,
be some sort of information that I came across somehow.
yeah.
I'm checking roll 20 now because if it's wrote down in
Right.
roll 20, then it can't be what you said about the transfer.
Regardless, though, Kashiga doesn't have a clue about any of these people's blood or whether they're a creature or not. She's never heard of them. But she does know that you can get wyvern venom very easily. The only thing on there that's potentially of exotic quality that would be at least base level of their skills and new powers is vampire blood.
Can they get that?
They can get any of those. They're just saying they wouldn't bother going out and getting grocery shopping for you. That's basically it.
But that's exotic.
They're
Can they
like,
get?
go get this yourself. We're not going to use our powers of teleportation magic.
Yeah, they
But
only go for things like I, s- I mean, I suppose what you could be is like, okay, I know this treasure is held by this wyvern. Go steal that treasure, and whilst you're there, grab some of the blood. Maybe.
Also, moonglove flower. I think you already know where to get that anyway.
I do.
But they've heard of it as well, and they know of its potent poisonous qualities.
But I could pay for it at some points.
But
But yeah,
rather than pay for that one, you know where to get it and how to maybe acquire it.
and yeah, it was written on down on roll 20 as well, so it's not like it's transferred and I've seen it in the DM notes or anything.
But she does say dealing with vampires is tricky, very tricky. Some of them don't even have much blood either. But I can tell you this: we're not assassins for hire. So acquiring the blood is tricky, not impossible. But that's something that would be at least worth our time.
Could you at least do that?
Or what? Whatever
Mm,
you got to offer.
don't know. Coins?
Eh,
Is there a price you'd put on that?
eh. Gold, easy to acquire, and not much use either. Especially when you're crossing plains.
How
What is
often?
that? What's that stamped with?
Is,
Midra's seal? Yeah.
I'm,
You see, this, Even these salamanders wouldn't accept gold. Not like that, anyway.
Like I've tried to pawn this off so many times before. How often do you come across angels? Like legit, angels from the heavens themselves.
She smiles, and I'd like you to roll an insight check.
Okay.
Because she says, well, we used to have one in our midst, I'd say. 25. Well, she ain't lying. That's for sure. She finds
I
it quite amusing that you're trying to big this up to be something like of a big deal. And she literally just drops the bomb and says, yeah, we used to have one working for us.
as someone as important as that, I can imagine that they would not like their hair to be messed with. Right? I have a strand of angel hair.
Single
It-
strand.
It's worth a lot. It has to be worth a lot, right?
Sentimentally, maybe. Depends whose it belongs to. If someone was using it against them, yes.
It is of well, it is like one of the children of the Dawn Father himself, right?
You might find some use with a evil necromancer or something. Maybe looking to create an effigy or maybe even a clone or something. I don't know. But
You've completely put me off now by telling me you're going to give it to someone evil.
well, we're not going to. But we're just saying,
It's more they're saying it's of no value to them, but it'd be of value to someone
yeah.
else.
These guys.
Velen, you found this hair
I know.
trying to follow someone. All of that was I'm looking to track the angels. Can I tell which way they went? Like, yeah, you find like a hair on
I
tree.
know.
It wasn't like opened a lockbox and like was gifted down from the. It was literally just a way to find the angels. It wasn't something crazy special. Okay.
No, but it's an angel hair. Of course, I was going to keep it in case it was of some worth.
It's nothing of worth.
I say I'm not a hoarder, but I will.
And Kishiko is definitely getting visibly like, ugh, like rolling her eyes.
Like
Like, how
it's
am I
in,
dealing with this? Are you serious?
it's
Angel
in,
hair? I said we had one working for us.
and
We
I
could have
know
got hair anytime we wanted.
I really need
Probably
this.
still got some stuck in here somewhere. Like
Right,
scales.
whatever.
Yeah, whatever, exactly.
I
Oh
really,
look, they're coming over the bridge. Perfect timing.
I really needed this as well. God damn it.
What about
Kishiko is also just not the one to be talking to.
what about any of your vials, like the air elemental, sand, or stuff?
Yeah, you haven't offered anything actually good. Like,
Yeah,
except a hair.
yeah, try that. The vial of air elemental sand, would that be useful? What about a vial of flitter sprite blood?
What do you take us for? We're not like some cult.
What
We're a
about
mercantile guild.
what about a vial of black gunk that can be used to make someone extremely ravenously hungry?
Ew, no.
Well, someone might want something like that, and you can trade it off.
Man, if Laffy was here, you'd be in so much trouble, Llewellyn.
Why?
You're giving the tree gunk to people who are evil.
They're not evil. They're just merchants. They're business people.
They clearly don't see themselves as evil, because
The trouble that we went through to heal that tree, and you're just going to offer it to people.
Well, it's only a small amount.
You'd get hit on the head with shillelagh and you know it.
I know. I'm really trying to get this because
What about your
this kid's
ghoul caller bell?
yeah. What about the ghoul caller bell,
It's a magic item, at least.
Ben? Because
Uh-huh.
I'm just getting to a point where I'm like I'm getting bored of trying to collect the stuff on this list. No offense.
Also,
it
I just
do?
realised we're in the plane of fire, and you've got the orb of fire.
Yeah, that's something else I'm going to be bringing up before we leave.
Surprised you haven't brought it up earlier, but yeah.
But we've been
I
so
forgot
busy,
about those.
we've been so busy, being like turned to stone and locked inside a plane within a plane within a plane.
So the ghoul caller's bell. Do you explain what it does?
I do, yeah.
Right, roll a persuasion check.
I'm never gonna use it. And I'm probably gonna roll really shit now because I've been rolling well. Yep. That's what I
Hmm.
thought.
Sounds a bit detrimental to the user. Like you have to kill the thing, the ghoul.
It'd be good for an adventurer or someone who wants to a training dummy.
Actually,
Yeah,
am
we
I
got.
here at this
I-
point?
And
Yeah,
then
I
they get
think about this point you do arrive when Llewellyn seems to be
Okay, I've
falling off.
never seen this item before. Can I see what this is?
Yeah,
it's just a little
Do I
bell.
know what this is?
so I'll show you the image for it.
Just
Like Datan has seen it, but like Irina's not necessarily seen Llewellyn has this. Do I
So
recognize
the
it?
ghoul-
it's a little,
Um,
it's a little bell.
Wait.
it is from the hut, so I doubt it, but you can roll an Arcana check. Probably with disadvantage because this isn't a common one.
Oh, it's
It- it like-
Narcabeligo.
Llewellyn is also explaining what it is as well.
That's before you even get here.
Yeah, this is when it's kind of being handed back is when you get here. So also you're exhausted. But don't forget that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right.
So disadvantage anyway.
14.
Are you exhausted as well, Evan?
I'm
No.
not. No.
All right, 14. Yeah, you don't recognize this, and it's not something you've learnt about. It's not something that's been replicated multiple times and like being produced on mass. It looks like a unique item, in other words.
Well,
Doesn't
it's a magic
necessarily make
item.
it is clearly a magical item. Yeah, there is like smoke trailing from the eyes. There's like a ghoulish looking face to the bell itself.
Now, does
It
it look
does-
like
it
to
does
me that
even-
Llewellyn has just bought this, or is he selling this?
It looks
Which
like
way
it's just
around
been
is
given
this
back.
transaction going?
It looks like it's just been given back to. You
But
can tell that
I'm just
Llewellyn's
gonna come
probably trying
up behind him and sort of like peer over his shoulder at it. Like, you know when a dog sees something that really, like, they want? It's just gonna come over
Yeah.
and just, like,
I
over
would
the shoulder, like,
also. I would also like to mention that I have really high passive perception and 360 view.
Sure. Yeah, you see this. Yeah. It's clear
It's
to
not,
everyone that
like,
Llewellyn
she's
is trying to
literally
steal
coming
an
over your
item.
shoulder.
Like I'd be having this conversation. I'm like, oh, Irina's behind me.
What's that?
Hello.
Oh. Finally, take your time.
Apologies,
got this?
the scrolls are quite complex, so they take a bit of writing.
Yeah, sure.
I kind of want to take it out of Llewellyn's hands. I'm just gonna, like, pick it and try to get a better look at it.
Chill. I'll pass it to her. It doesn't really interest me too much. I can do
Just
whatever
gonna-
this does.
Do you ring it?
No, but I asked Llewellyn what it. I'm not that stupid. What does it do?
Well, I
Pretty
mean,
sure
it rings whenever you move it anyway, so
I'm pretty sure you have to be attuned to it to use it.
not attunement, I don't think.
Is it not?
Nope.
Huh. Yeah, I'll
I'm
just tell
literally.
her.
I'm not shaking it. Like, I'm literally, like, taking it.
So basically, it's like
Like,
a
when
challenge.
you pick up a bell, you hold the center bit so it doesn't ring.
It's basically like a challenge. You can bring someone back from the dead as an undead, and then if you defeat it, you can ask it questions.
Huh? You've had that
Basically-
this entire time?
Yeah, and it's never been of interest. I can do everything that it does.
You're a
I'm
necromancer?
Shut up, Kashan.
Hey, Sean, did you know that paladins can cast spells?
No, I'm not a paladin. But
Oh,
it is pretty obvious that a paladin would be able to cast spells, idiot.
Yeah, you know, not everyone knows that.
Wait, if you use this on like a dead thing, you fight the dead thing and then you get to ask it questions?
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Now, I can already use Speak with Dead without having to defeat something. And in terms of Andy, I was going to help speak to her father. I don't think she'd want to have to fight her father before she does that.
Hmm. Well, I can do something similar, but I can't ask questions. I can make them do my bidding, but that's
What do you
about
mean?
it.
Wait, you can do necromancer?
In a manner. A little bit.
And how often have you used this ability?
Once.
Same.
I don't like doing it. It's kind of
Same. I like to have the permission of the body's user before I do it.
Oh, that I don't care about, but it's you know,
You
like
respect the
having
dead.
your dad as a teacher, he's kind of like, you must dabble in at least every single school of magic, you know.
That sounds exactly like him.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, sorry to break up this like getting to know each other sort of thing, but we have business to conclude.
Oh yes,
yes.
business.
It's done.
You copied all of them?
Yep,
Every single
and by
one.
the hands of a professional.
There you are. And I'll go to hand it over.
Okay.
I take it away. I just want to let you know that this is my life's work. This is my teacher's
Really?
life's work.
Should there not be like a
This
half
is
an hour
everything that I'm working towards to better myself. And you're bartering with it. I'm happy to get my stuff back
and my stuff
in this trade.
and
I
my
hold
stuff?
out my other hand. I don't give a shit about your stuff.
She reaches into the
Out of character.
bag of flowering and she kind of opens it up, looks inside, and reaches in and says, "Oh, this yours? This yours?" She's like dragging one out after another. It's mostly Llewellyn stuff to begin with, as it happens. I'm just like tossing it behind you, just trying to get it off to him. Llewellyn, unbreakable arrow is handed back to you.
Is it broken?
Oh wait, sorry, this one.
Arrow.
It's a broken arrow, and then whoops, sorry, this one, and she does get out the correct one after a second.
That seeming Kubo. The sword unbreakable. It broke.
Hold on, I'm getting a message. Oh, apparently this is yours too. And Levin, all your stuff is handed to you back one by one.
Yay!
Now for the scrolls. So, I'm just gonna have a quick look at them myself, and she does open them up and look, and yeah. Well, he must have been an important guy if the syndicate is looking for them as well. She rolls them back up.
The syndicate?
Yeah.
Literally
Syndicate
their name.
Apple.
Hmm?
It's who I
Sorry,
work for.
everyone spoke at once.
It's who I work for.
Oh.
Syndicate Apogee. And she hands one of the scrolls to you at the start. You don't know immediately which one it is, but it hands you one.
Put it in the bag.
Check it.
I check it. Yeah, I check it over and just.
Okay, make an investigation check.
Can I assist? Because I've been looking at these documents just to see if, like, obviously I can't decipher the other ones, but do I get?
Yeah, it was. I think the deal was for him to get his original ones back, not a copy.
No, I'd be taking the originals.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, that's
as
what I'm
I
saying.
said,
We want to check that they're.
The thing is that logically doesn't make sense because the words appeared in front of me when I sat down and read them.
There were always kind of words on them, but I think it's like it's exactly like James suggested. That effectively there is like a true path.
Because thanks to Foundry, I've now fucked myself because that was with advantage. So they could be
Well,
handing
no,
me a
you
napkin.
not thanks to Foundry. It actually thanks to Foundry, it remembers that you're exhausted and that you have a flat roll regardless.
Oh no, I just rolled it flat.
Yeah, well, regardless, you didn't remember you have exhaustion. So
I did remember. That's why I balanced it out, because if Irene is helping me,
okay,
then that's with
all right,
advantage. Balances.
all right. How's Foundry fucking?
Because I rolled a 3.
Twice?
Yeah.
Well, how
Yeah.
did you
In
roll
logic,
20?
story wise, doesn't make sense.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, it looks like your scroll. And this is what was it? They've handed you timeless body. As you investigate it, it does appear to be all in order. And then they hand you the next one, which is empty body. And you can roll an investigation for that as well.
With assistance, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that.
Fucking wonderful.
Okay. It does appear to be, again, all in order. At least you can't tell if there is any tampering or anything with it. For the most part, these have been actually incredibly well kept after. They're not just ragtag thieves who, throw the stuff together. They clearly know how to look after magical objects and items, preserve them.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the last scroll, she takes the other scrolls from your hand, and before she hands you the last one, let me just check these myself as well. Why not? Let's all have a little look. Mm-mm-mm. Ace of 16. Huh. Okay. Um, Irina, that's right. Hold on. Okay. Huh, all right. She rolls it back up and throws it away. Okay. And the last one. And she hands you the last scroll. And this one you definitely can tell is the last scroll just from the exterior. Because the scroll looks different. I'm going to say that it's effectively kind of got this golden filigree at the end. The actual hole that it's made isn't just a simple kind of like wooden one. It seems to be more like a metal rod with one end of the scroll seems to be like this kind of like frozen. It's not actually ice, but it looks to be like sculpted to look like some sort of like ice spike. And the other end of it seems to be like this fire, kind of being molded out of gold. And yeah, she hands you this, and there's like a little like violet tassel that kind of like unrolls the whole thing. And this is the scroll of perfect health, and you can roll an investigation. For this one as well.
She just hears Lavelle go, "Hey, wait, there were 3 diamonds in this bag." No? I thought
Nice
I was.
try. We keep quite a strict itinerary on everything. Or anyway,
Yeah,
that's
go on.
everything, right? And it does appear to again be the correct roll.
Stupid.
And so these 2 copies are the only copies of these, correct?
Why'd you ask?
I just don't want to. I want to make sure that this isn't getting sold on, per se.
Well, that's for us to decide what we do with it. In fact, I don't even know what he wants to do with it. Sarban rarely gives us a reason why we're going to acquire stuff. He just tells us to do it.
Then, from what you know, are these the only copies?
The only ones I know of, yes.
Actually, from what I know from speaking of Zarban,
First
it,
of all, insight. Just FYI.
yeah, it seemed to me like Zarban had a personal goal of trying to follow these as to
Hmm.
whatever outcome.
So go ahead, roll an insight check.
But yeah, Llewellyn says that to you.
And of course with disadvantage.
So
Beth.
to me, it didn't seem like he wanted to sell them. It seemed like it was something on a more personal level that he wanted to figure out.
Yeah. Hold on.
20, 24,
So
Jesus.
she does seem to be telling you the truth, but at the same time, she also is just telling you potentially what you want to hear, just so that she can get you off her hands, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because business is done, she clearly just wants to get out of here. She doesn't want to have to spend any more time in the plane of fire than she has to. All right.
If these aren't the originals, I will be back. And I'll hand her the book.
Likewise, if there's anything fishy about these scrolls, then I'm sure we'll meet again, so you'll have that chance. But I know Zarban is always at least 12 steps ahead. So, just a small warning if you do try something.
Well, if he wants step 13, tell him to get in touch with me.
And if you ever
No,
want
no,
to chat,
no,
feel free
no,
to
leave
come
that.
that's
find
not
me.
supposed to be an insult. That's like, you know, I've got more information if he wants it later on.
But also fuck him.
I've never met the guy, so I'm not going to say that.
And
She kind of she agrees with you. She's like, "Yeah, fuck Zarban."
Hey, he seemed like a decent guy.
Shut up,
Yeah.
Llewellyn. I elbow him.
And Karis just says to Shiko, if you ever want to come chat about anything, feel free. I'm always available for that.
All right.
Oh
At
yes,
least
don't
some
hit
of
on
you.
the enemy!
It's literally a religious icon for him. Like speaking to a merfolk. It's religious.
Says, "Well, I appreciate the
You hit Lavelle for some
Do you
everyone."
mind? Do you mind?
And Llewellyn, if you still wanted to do business, that can be arranged. You know my name. A simple sending spell is all you need to do. Tell me
We
you know how to
can't.
do that.
No,
No,
I'm not a cleric, and the only cleric I know hasn't met you.
Well, you know, this kind of spellcasting that's like a barrier of entry to our sort of syndicate. See,
Yeah.
we don't just deal with peasants. You have to at least be powerful enough to know how to contact someone through the planes in order to, well, want something across the planes as it happens.
Also,
Yeah.
can't wizards learn that spell? That seems like something they should be able to learn.
It is.
But come back to me when you say that Blot the Rogue is able to send messages. Yeah? Yeah? No? Didn't think
What?
so.
What isn't the communications? That's Zarban's expertise. In fact, I'm
Exactly.
getting a message right now. Oh, they say, so long and thanks for all the fish. And with that, you start to
Nice.
see her teleporting away. Oh, she's not casting the spell either. You can see that she's just like simply being pulled away.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah, effectively. Thank. Ah! And she disappears as she's vanished from the elemental plane of fire. And also, good luck.
No! No! I'm moving away.
Two
I'm moving.
salamanders come to consciousness. I'm like, oh my head. Ugh. Felt like
Oh my
you know
God.
when when like water gets up your nose and it's like feels like it's in your brain.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the
I've
worst
experienced that
sensation
way
ever.
too many times. And I like the water.
They look around and like, what? You. And they're speaking in primordial once again, in Ignan rather. They're like, what happened? You responsible for this?
I'll
No,
respond.
there was a merfolk here. They had you under their control. We've got rid of them. You're welcome.
Roll a quick persuasion check, Harris.
The wizard just ran away and seeing what happened, just like, nope.
They seem to have like their spears kind of aimed towards you, and they're like, "Yeah, I remember something like that." Ah,
Yeah, you might be able to detect the slight fishy smell.
damn tricksters!
Well, hopefully they won't be coming back. I say.
Oh,
Enigma.
and Karis, as a demonstration, will quickly use shape water to make a small image of Kashika and then a small image of Blot. These are the two responsible. If you see them, feel free.
By the way, the word trickster is only loosely translated as that. That's what it means in common.
Yeah.
But the actual word they speak is a slur on denizens from the water plane, because
Yeah.
it is basically known that water is tricksy. That, well, at least some of the gods that they worship, especially merfolk gods, are very tricksy kind of individuals. So yeah,
Sean, that
they
is
would
your
say
cue.
something like they would say something like
That's
"spush
racist?
forces."
That is racist.
There we go.
But yeah, not that you would unless you understand them. Yeah, you would. Of course, you would.
Yeah, both
But,
me and
yeah.
Kashan do, which is chilling.
But
And
yes,
possibly Irina.
they basically called her a water trickster, effectively. But yeah. Anyway,
Yes.
we must return to our post.
Bye.
Bye.
Alright, enjoy. Say hi to your master for me. He probably doesn't know me. If he ever wants to open up trade for the material plane.
Yeah.
I turn
Alright.
around to Carius. You're an idiot. I turn around to Llewellyn. You're also an idiot. I turn around
Why
to
am I an
Irina.
idiot? I
Thank
came
you.
up with the idea to get your scrolls back without you losing the real ones.
Technically,
Stop.
that was out of character, so thank you, James. Carius, you're an idiot.
I'm just gonna like pocket the ghoul caller's bell because he's just wandered off and I've still got it.
No. I would have got that back first.
Stunning stroke.
You didn't mention
Jeez.
it before you wandered away.
Yeah, well, I wander back and take it back. Jeez. And then I wander off.
It depends.
Fair enough.
Irina, would you count this as an attack?
No, I wander.
Count what as an attack?
Him trying to take the bell back.
No, if he notices he can have it back, it's fine.
Damn it.
Do you really want it?
Yes.
You said it was useless to you. Oh, I could do that at any
Yeah.
time, but I want it.
It sounded like you
He's a
didn't want
hoarder.
it.
I mean, yeah, you can have it then. I don't care.
Jamie's giving
I
up a
stick it in my
magical
pocket.
item?
I give up magical items where they're useful for other people. You got the zip to yip.
Very useful.
That's true.
Right,
Um,
Chad, I'm
Cool.
guessing we have to wait till tomorrow to get out of here.
I'm going to retire back to the same room.
One
Right,
more.
so just one more night if you can survive it. So I might find some sort of air conditioning. Oh wait, Llewellyn, you're back. Thank goodness. Right, can you set up that hut again? Because that was like bliss.
I can. Just give me 2 seconds. I got to speak to the Ifriti guy. He's had time to rest. He should be feeling somewhat better.
Yeah. And I think in the time you've been gone, it looks like they've actually installed a door. So yeah, you can actually go and do that.
What, in the space that he broke up? And
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they just put a door frame there now. You hear a loud snoring as you come around the side.
Eh.
Oh no, you're gonna anger the one person who's keeping us here safe.
is this the perfect time to use the dream spell?
No.
hey, Mr. Afriti guy. Did we get his name? We got his name, didn't we?
You did, yeah.
Yeah, I do actually say his name in full. Not that I remember it off the top of my really terrible human brain memory.
I'll find it for you in a second. But yeah, you hear him like, And he just gets up with a swift motion and draws his blade in that same motion. And he's like pointing it around the room.
He, as
Disturb! You dare disturb my slumber!
I'm sorry, but I kind of need your help.
Could have branded you when I had the chance.
I'm sorry.
What do you want?
As someone of the fire plane, you respect beings of the fire plane, right?
You're joking, right?
No, I have a trapped denizen from the fire plane and looking to free them.
Or you mean transfer servant?
No, free them. So they can go about free will?
Free
Right.
a
Okay,
fire. We're talking about freeing a fire elemental. Are you insane?
why would that be insane? They've served me well for so long, they have earned their freedom.
Right. What would you imagine an elemental of fire would do with their freedom?
Well, I can't imagine they could burn much stuff around the fire elemental plane because it's all on fire.
Very true.
So they would probably explore, burn fire into more fire. So, freedom.
You don't know much about the elemental plane of fire.
No, I don't. It's first time here.
I see. Well, I can tell you that many fire elementals are enslaved within the city of Brass.
Okay. So you're saying that if I give freedom to a fire elemental, it's likely to become a slave again?
Very likely. At least in the city of Brass itself.
What if I free it outside the city of Brass?
Then it will join the sea of flame.
That is what I want for it. That is what I want for it.
That's a foolish thing to do, but by all means,
Right.
suit yourself.
Do you have around here a continual flame?
We have many.
Good.
Flames do not even go out in the elemental plane of fire.
Oh, that's perfect. Just checking.
Is
First time
everything
here.
wet in the elemental plane of water?
That's different. Fire can go out normally. Water can't normally go out.
It can dry up.
Can evaporate.
Yeah, but you didn't think about that, bitch.
And if it's seawater, you can technically evaporate enough that you're just left with salt.
I guess so. Yeah, that's true.
Maybe
Anyway.
when a water elemental dies, it turns to salt and gets buried in the elemental. Hang on, if it dies, does it become an elemental of Earth?
Actually, it would probably become an elemental, mineral elemental, because I think, or crystal elemental, because there's one of those.
Anyway, thank you. Turns out I didn't need your help physically. I just needed information. Bye.
We'll warn you that fire elementals are greedy, destructive beings.
Oh, I know. And it's been so useful for me.
Kind of lays back down.
Cool. Anyway, I'll do it in the morning. Well, because obviously Chad's already complaining about being hot.
He is, yeah.
So we'll find the space and
Alright.
take a
You
long
guys-
rest because I
You
need
guys
to.
can take a long rest if you finally want to.
Yeah.
Just before my long rest, this would just be a quick thing. It's not involving talking to anyone. This is more Karish just practicing with his crystal rock thing, his fulgurite. And I'm
Okay.
trying to find the plane image that you gave me. Essentially, what I'm going to do is, because based on what was shared at one point, I know that in order to get to lightning from Earth, I need to go through, I think, Radiant and Positive, if memory serves me correctly, but I cannot find the image, which is really annoying. I always struggle to find this image when I'm looking for it.
Yeah, you won't find that image by looking for it, funnily enough.
I found it before when I've been looking.
Yeah, it's an incredibly deep search if you do find it. I did save the image, and I might be able to find it real quick. If not, then you'll have to scroll back up and
There it
search.
is.
Oh, you got
There it is. I found one. It's not the exact one, so
Okay,
from
drag it into the chat for us.
into the
Wait, is this the exact one I sent you?
no, but it's
No.
I think very similar. So it's that one.
It is similar, yeah, but that one just looks
Yeah.
like a mess, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I picked a image for it.
Yeah, so I've currently got earth or mineral. I'm gonna say mineral
Mint.
because it's crystalline.
Okay.
So then if I was to channel Word of Radiance through it, that would be the closest thing to positive I can do. Actually, no, positive's healing, isn't it? Positive energy, right? That's what positive energy.
Not necessarily. Positive could be so damn positive that it actually does
Yeah.
quite the opposite.
But Radiance is a separate plane. So what I'm going to do,
Not quite. Yeah, hold on. Let me look at this.
or is my one wrong that I found?
Okay, no, that is close. I have the image somewhere, but just tell me what you're trying to do anyway.
So essentially, so obviously I've managed to be able to
Um,
channel lightning through and balance it in a way, which is the first step. So I was next going to try to channel like radiant or positive energy through it to try to get to that next step. So I've sort of used the mineral bit. So now I need to go to like start traversing through the plane. So I was going to attempt, in fact, because I can actually target things. Yeah, so if I say I'm on mineral, I need to go to positive energy.
okay.
And then I need to go, and then from positive energy, I can get the lightning. So essentially, I know positive energy can be like so much healing. It's like it's like pure force life energy to the point where like too much of it could almost like if you like accelerated cell growth to such a point it would be cancer, etc., things like that. But essentially I'm going to try to channel healing word through it to heal myself and channel that through the fulgurite to try to master using it for positive energy, and then hopefully that'll be a step closer to going to lightning.
Okay. All right. I'd like you to roll me a. Wait, you're using your cleric powers, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you give me a wisdom check.
Dice don't fail me now, and I don't know how guidance got on my list somehow, but guidance was on my list, and I'm almost certain I've never had that before, or if I did get it, I don't know where I
yeah,
got it.
I was experimenting with something. You
Yeah.
can get rid of that.
Yeah.
As someone who can also use some cleric powers, would I be able to aid him?
It's not very good.
Well,
Sounds
he hasn't asked for your aid, so
No, this is just Karis. He's
no.
having potentially failed to do it myself. I would then sort of think and go, okay, I've spoken to Andy, I've spoken to Kashan, I've spoken to
Yes.
Irina. The only two I haven't spoken to is Chad, and I don't really want to speak to him, and Llewellyn. So I'll go speak to Llewellyn.
Let's speak to
Okay.
Chad. Speak to Chad. Chad's
No,
great.
I don't want to speak to Chad.
Chad is currently finding himself anyway.
Yeah.
All right, you can go speak to him. While
Right.
Jeremy's been set up.
Alright, hi level. Realize you're busy doing spells and things, but just a quick one. You can obviously you've brought me back from the dead before, so you can sort of do the whole healing sort of thing, and to some extent, right? Like perhaps at
Not so,
least you can bring
not so much.
back souls.
Yeah, not
I
so much
guess.
healing, but reviving.
Well, anyway, you're the closest thing to a cleric that I have, other than myself, at the moment. I mean, I know we've got bards, but I've already bothered Andy once with this, and I'd rather not spend too much time with Chad. He might
You made
pluck
really
that.
good progress with Andy as well.
Yeah, yeah. Andy was really helpful, but that was for the first step. So I'm trying to basically get everyone involved at some point. Technically, I've got a druid here as well. They could be useful, but then again, they're more focused on the water, so probably not. Whereas you've kind of got like the whole soul thing. So essentially, if my understanding of the planes and how their energy flow is correct, then in order to get from mineral, which is what I think this would classify as, I need to go to positive energy. And positive energy, at least the closest I can probably do, is healing. So essentially, what I want to try to do is work out how to channel healing through this, and then if I can sort of master that, then potentially I can then move on to the next step of turning this back into lightning.
So, this is gonna sound dark, but the way I've somehow come across like bringing people back is that was once used to harness the power of souls to create liches, I believe. So, and this again, this is gonna sound dark. What if you harness the power of a soul, which is in essence energy, to turn that into lightning? That would be turning radiance
So,
into energy, I would assume, but that would be quite a dark beat,
so try to like.
maybe.
I mean, it's an idea, I guess, but I
But
can't
but it
exact. I don't
but it
exactly have my
but then but then that means delving into necromancy and harnessing a person's soul
Yeah.
for your own greed and gain.
Not exactly what I'm
But it,
trying to do.
but it would be positive. Revivify is you know
Yeah, unfortunately, in terms of the cleric side, that's really where my brother probably beats me. Like, he's always been the more devout side of, and it's where my father definitely beats me. But whereas I've more focused on the weather and the storm and stuff, so my cleric powers are nowhere near strong enough to even bring back a recently deceased person
but,
with the likes of Revivify.
but it would make sense considering that from what I've learned of lightning and electricity, it's all about positive and negative neutrons, and a person is made up literally of that. So you could turn a soul into lightning, essentially.
Wait,
That's
just say that last bit again about positive and negative for me.
that lightning is made of, positive and negative neutrons, and
Hmm.
so is, well, every atom you come across, including people.
There's no link between negative and that, but
If you could harness a soul into positive energy, that's essentially creating lightning.
yeah, I mean,
But then that would beg to, if that was the case, that would beg to question: has your father ever taken someone's soul to be able to do what he can do?
I have no idea. In fact, I think Tarek might be the best person to answer this, but
Probably.
Roll an
um,
intelligence check for a quick, Gareth.
what?
Roll an intelligence check or history.
With help or
No.
okay. I'm guessing that didn't help then.
I have no bonuses, and I've played.
Tarek is one idea, but you do remember your sister saying that you're effectively trying to skip a step.
Yeah,
Like, you came up with such a good idea to begin with that you actually jumped the gun a bit and was like going to the end step. You're like, oh, well, this makes sense. And it does, and it did. But you swear you recall your sister saying that you were missing a step.
yeah. Like, I've done step 1, which is like use it for lightning, and then there's step 3, which is something to do with my channel divinity, whereas step 2 is like something to do with belief, I think, were the words. Like, it should be well, it's turning
It's
a
apparently doing
stone
the
back into
impossible.
lightning, which seems impossible, but it's possible.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, the only other thing I can think of trying to do, which I will do as the last thing as part of this, is obviously to transfer one element into another is a form of transmutation. I think that's
Transmutation is the path that you've been following down. You know that this whole endeavor is a feat of transmutation.
okay. So I've just had a weird idea. It's a weird idea, but I like the idea. Right. Essentially, would I have the sorcery points enough for this? Actually, healing word's a bonus action, so I could do this. Okay, so what I am going to attempt to do in a very strange way, I'm going to try to cast healing word with my cleric powers through one end of it and gust through the other. So I'm going to try to approach lightning from both sides, like a positive energy and a more negative energy, because whilst gust isn't damaging, it's also a transmutation spell.
It is transmutation. The word, however, is evocation.
I know,
Uh,
but I don't. Is
okay,
there a healing spell that's transmutation?
good luck finding one. But in the meantime, if you're attempting this,
Yep.
I'd like you to make a. Gonna be another wisdom check.
Okay, one of those is from cleric, one from sorcerer. So do I roll one
Yeah.
of each?
I'll tell you what then. Yeah, do one wisdom, one charisma.
Okay, wisdom, don't fail me. That's better. Now charisma, really succeed. I'm much better with. See, this is exactly Karis's point. It's like I'm so much better at healing.
You are you are way better at the wind element.
Yeah.
So as the healing tries to take form on an object, which of course it wouldn't, it sort of hovers there for a moment, like seeking out a potential target, anything that is living and needs more life. And as it kind of hovers at the end of the fulgurite, the gust spell comes whooshing through, needing no direction, needing no purpose. It is simply element. It is simply chaos. It just whooshes forward, and it's so potent that it just wafts away the healing word, and the magic from the evocation is dispersed before it even had a chance to do anything.
Oh. There are actually 3 spells that are transmutation that are healing. But none of them can be accessed by me.
Regenerate could work.
Yeah, literally Goodberry, Reincarnate, and Regenerate are the only 3.
Hey, can our resident druid create a good berry and then you just pop it on the end of the
Nah,
fulgurite?
it has to be sort of something that I master myself. So, right, so I can use it for channeling wind, which is interesting, and then carry a sort of.
You have worked out that when you worked with Andy to find the tuning you worked out that you could use the Fulgurite as a spellcasting focus,
Yeah.
and you have been using it as such.
Yeah,
Up
I'm
till
just seeing if there's a way I can approach this from the other way, because like the positive energy is one way. I'm seeing if it makes sense the other. So I'd need to go sort of
What-
say mineral earth, and then I would need to go from earth to magma to fire to smoke to air to lightning.
But what about the fact that your father worked with someone? Maybe this is a cooperative thing. So if you did what you did with the gust of wind because it's transmutation, and if our druid does have good berry and casts it through the other side,
But I don't. The problem is,
then
I
then
think
that
it's
would
more the teachings were from another person, but because
don't know that for
in
sure.
well,
could-
in order to use this object as an attunement, as an object, it's an attunement object.
Yeah, but there's nothing to say that it didn't require help.
Yeah, but in order for someone to be able to channel their power through this, what I mean is they need to attune to it, which they can't do because I'm attuned to it.
Just
But it is an idea.
Besides that, you know that this feat eventually does require you to be able to pull it off yourself.
Yeah.
which
Mhm.
would
But
be
it's
which would
certainly
be
a
regenerate.
thought. I will keep it in mind.
And during this, you can roll an Arcana check.
Sure. Sure. 23.
Okay. What he's mentioning about trying to track an element through the different planes, transforming it as it flows, is all entirely possible. That is why they are connected. That is why the elements are able to flow. They are a complete circle, a cycle of chaos, and a cycle of flow. They can't jump necessarily from one to another. That would be impossible. But wait, that's exactly what you've been told, is that this feat is something that is impossible. That is exactly what your sister told you, Carrion. Llewellyn, what he's trying to do is all physically possible. What he's mentioning about going from mineral to radiant to positive to lightning. That's how
Yeah.
the elements work.
That's why I've thought. But then again, if they've said it's an impossible step, then I need to go directly from mineral to lightning, or from earth to lightning. Huh.
Anyway, I think that's as much as you get done on this little night. It's a few rolls. Doesn't seem like much progress has been made, unfortunately. But you kind of go to sleep thinking about those transmutation spells, thinking what other ones you could are under that sort of umbrella of transmutation. You're trying to think how you could do the impossible. And you've got like a bit of a puzzle, you're unable to connect or draw lines to them. It feels like you've got things in front of you, like ideas and keywords, but you're unable to just stitch them. So, the morning will come, and a blazing hot, fiery morning it is. It doesn't even feel like there was even a night with how hot it was. But thankfully, inside the tiny hut, you guys are kept in temperature-controlled environments, and you recover your exhaustion as well.
Until we aren't. We're
So
not
you're no
sleep.
longer exhausted.
Well, that's the point.
You're no
Chad
longer
should be able to
exhausted.
cast this whilst we're in here. We don't need to leave necessarily in order
I
to.
You're no
do
longer
need to leave.
exhausted.
I do need to leave. However,
Why do you need to leave?
because I have got a task that I need to do that should only take like 10 minutes and then I can go. We can all
In
go.
minutes, we're going to be inside this. Make it quick, Evelyn.
Right, so I leave. I have to leave the monastery because I'm not going to do it in the monastery, and I find the closest continual flame.
One right there.
Oh my, what? Outside the monastery, yeah, the closest continual flame, so it doesn't cause any issues or whatever.
No one cast continual flame out here.
Yeah. So I just find one,
There
and
is- no,
I
no one has cast continual flame out here. It
No,
is
not
the elemental plane of fire. The
that's
elemental
what I'm
plane of
saying.
fire is continual flame. It's
That,
not a
that
spell. Oh,
yeah. I'm not on about the spell. I'm just on about the closest one that I can find.
well, there's
Blazing.
literally lava everywhere.
Yeah.
But you're still within the city of Brass right now.
Anyway.
Mhm. The whole monastery is connected through bridges and
Okay, I'm gonna cast Conge Elemental anyway.
all right, come to them.
From
And
the Orb of Fire comes Bernice.
Bernice appears. She's like, "Ah, this is the best place you've ever brought me. Villain, are we home? This is
Yes.
tantalizing."
Now, here's the thing. We're in the City of Brass,
Yeah,
which
put me
means
back.
now I could give you freedom right now, and so long as you're able to
There's
escape,
there's no such thing as freedom inside the city of Brass.
this
Brass
this is
fire elementals.
this is why I wanted to speak to you first.
How do you
If you
think I got imprisoned in the first place?
if you're able to make your escape from here, are we on the outskirts at the very least? I assume the monastery wouldn't be in the direct middle.
No, it's not. You are sort of on the outskirts, yeah.
Yeah, so you're not far away from well the outside right now. So if you wanted, I could free you here, and you could make your way out to well, what you would call the wilderness of the fire plane,
I'm still bound to that orb that you carry.
and as I have freed the water elemental in a means of continual water, there is plenty of continual flame here that could free you from this orb. So long
Let's
as
cast the orb into the fire itself.
that is what I am intending to do.
The
If
only thing that can destroy my prison
yeah,
without destroying me.
while I have summoned you out of it, yes. So
Then
if
submerge it into the fires of the elemental plane.
and this is what you wish, and you believe you'll be able to make it out to the wilderness from here?
City of Brass, cast it into the sea.
I'm sorry that you cut out then.
This is the city of Brass.
Okay.
Out there is the real elemental plane of fire.
Okay. What I'm saying is, will you be able to make it out to there from here?
You have to cast the orb into the fire. What don't you understand about this? Keeps on getting more and more angry. The flames
She's
erupting.
not understanding me. I'm saying if I chuck this in the fire here now, will
That's
she...
the city of Brass's fire.
There's a difference.
Yes! This stuff isn't even near as hot enough. You'd be melting right now. Your eyeballs would sizzle and boil and pop. Your fingernails would be melting right now if you was in the true elemental plane of fire.
I'm gonna have to put up with Chad for a couple more days, Anna. But
Why?
because we're pretty much dying of heat here, and we're not going to be able to do it right now, then it's going to have to be in like 2 days.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
deny me my freedom, and yet it is right there.
Hey, I'm trying to give you your
Fair, you
freedom
have
right.
someone who could do it for you. Just saying.
same, probably. So I'm not affected by the heat currently at all.
Yeah, but I need to go. It's a matter of me summoning them from the orb so they're no longer in it,
Yeah,
and then
but
breaking
the
the orb.
Foundry Elemental lasts an hour, right? It shouldn't take.
Could do.
Literally, Irina could just do her flame form, then dimension door 500 feet that way, probably be out of the city, drop it, and then dimension
Mention
door back.
Okay, I'll go speak to Irina about doing that then. With it, the elemental with me. It's the only option I can think of, other than gating back to the material plane and then having Chad to gate us back.
Well, technically, Chad could
why
just
would you
open.
why are you talking about gating everywhere? I don't understand. Sure. Anyway, you go back to my arena. I
Right.
don't get what you're talking about. Having to spend 2 days to that makes no sense.
Because traveling all the way out there, we're gonna get like multiple exhaustions.
Yeah, you'd probably burn alive. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you went to the outskirts
On
already,
the
and she said it's right there. So it's
Yeah.
not
She's
that far away.
yeah, but because we're still technically inside the city of Brass, it's not good enough.
Damn right it isn't.
Yeah, but she's saying
You-
but she was saying you're on the outskirts. It's not that far. It's just there.
Yeah, I don't think you listened at all to Bernice. She just got pissed off with you. More and more
It
fiery
did
and ignorant.
it did
Okay,
make sense to me.
if
She explained it so simply. She said, "Throw the orb into the fire outside the city of Brass." He literally said that. But anyway, doesn't matter. You go back in, and as Bernice erupts in fire, she says, "Any one of you have, well, the gust to actually do what is needed to be done? The Valentine is going to take days, and we're literally right there."
Well, I didn't say days. It'd probably take an hour or two, and then we'd probably get exhausted by then.
An hour is still longer than I ever need to wait.
It does.
all right,
Right.
she's making me
Oh.
dizzy. Can you get her to stand still?
Yeah, yeah. Please. I said tell her to stand still. Right. So
I hate standing still.
Irina, if she, our fire elemental friend here, is now free of the orb for the next hour, and the orb needs to be thrown into a continual flame, which has to be hot enough, so outside the city of Brass. If I gave you the orb, and you took Fernice with you to the outside,
Mm.
would you be able to? Well, you'd be able to dimension door, wouldn't you? With her,
I mean, I could walk it.
or you could walk it if that's what
I
you
mean,
wanted.
or if you want to go a bit faster, I'll lend you the glaive.
Yeah.
But then again, if it's hot enough to destroy a fire elemental orb, I'm not sure how I'll affect my glaive.
It's fine. Like, question for the DM. Obviously, if we get to the edge of the city of Brass, which is obviously where we were, is it literally like I step out of a
Yep.
barrier and I'm there? Cool.
Yeah,
Then
effectively.
it's fine. It will be fine.
Yeah, I hand you the empty orb of fire currently.
Okie dokie.
It is built to withstand the intense elemental power, so it might not be something that you pass through, but if you teleport it through, that would do the trick. Sure.
Yeah.
There's no in barrier like physical barrier though.
Yeah. The
It's a
reason
magic
No, but I mean,
The re-
it's a case of like, you know, when you pass from like one town to another, and you've got like the big "oh, welcome to blah blah blah" sign. There's no actual physical barrier, but like there's a marker to show when you pass
right.
across, essentially.
Oh, it's very obvious when you cross the barrier because
Yeah,
there
that's
is a
all I was
physical
wanting to
wall.
know.
There is a physical wall, but you can actually see the outskirts of like civilization. That's
Fine.
effectively what it looks like there.
where are we?
You'd be on the outskirts on the western side. Sorry, eastern side.
Yeah. So yeah, the reason why I say like teleport is because I can only hold concentration for an hour. So if you can't make it to the outskirts in an hour, she's back in the orb and trapped.
Fine. Like, how long did it take you to get to the outskirts?
I only
You're
went.
already
I only went
monastery.
outside there.
A monastery is on the outskirts.
Yeah, that's what
Because,
I'm
like
trying to
you
explain
said,
to him. It's not gonna take
I
an
know.
hour.
You seem to get that.
Right.
He doesn't
I
seem to
don't
get that.
I'm gonna take the orb and I'm gonna head out to where I've gotta go. When I get to the
Yeah.
edge, I'm using Investiture of Flame to
Yeah.
make me resistant to fire, and I am going to cross the barrier and throw it in the fire.
Fire!
Thank you. All right. So,
mean, you're
You-
immune to fire, so yeah.
I've
Yep.
basically got like 10 minutes, so I'll take 5 minutes, I'll walk 5 minutes, 4 minutes ish, out into the whatever it is.
So you
Make sure Bernice is happy with where I'm putting it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
good?
Let's do this out. So she says, there, past the Eternal Flame Pavilion, past the Flame Sight Mosque. And she guides you. She seems to know these places intricately. And she says, there, across the vast ocean of fires. You know, almost a shame, really. I was getting to like the mortal kind, but flames are not meant to be still. Flames are not meant to be imprisoned. It goes
Well,
against everything in my nature.
that's not necessarily imprisonment, it's a vessel for you to get your freedom, kind of. If you think about it.
That vessel you're holding is my prison.
Not for much longer.
And it is these, Afriti, that would have us enslaved once again, traded off to some wizard or witch to guard a treasure of theirs, to be used against others.
Alright, well, maybe don't think too far into that because you're getting your freedom now and you can go off and have adventures of your own and, you know, swim in lava.
Do hope I get to use her.
As they're talking about this, sort of riling up themselves, it seems like literally they're fueling their own anger. As they're saying this, you do feel prickles of heat all over your own skin. It's not from the elemental plane of fire, that's for sure. It's from within you. And it seems like their little speech is riling up someone else about being used, about being imprisoned in objects used by warlocks and wizards and such.
Oh no.
Hey, you volunteered!
Huh? Bernice turns to you. You're talking to someone? There's a sort of roar of flame, almost as if she's sensing the heat around her.
Well,
Ah,
she's seen Candlewick before.
yeah, she has. Ah, of course, I remember. You carry someone else as well. You
Yes,
carry your
my
own little
friend.
prisoner.
He's not a prisoner, he's my friend.
Friend. Yes, like the villain is my friend. You
I'm
wouldn't
as
want to
much his
displease
as
your master.
I'm
My-
as much his as he is mine. It's a partnership, not an enslavement.
Am I
And
gonna
any,
have to get like a squirty water bottle?
and any smart elemental knows not to disobey or upset their master. Things must remain cordial, mustn't they? You feel a swirl of heat inside you, almost like a slightly queasy sensation. Yes.
No, that's not how it works.
Oh no.
When was the last time you did something for Candlewick?
My
Candlewick has served
entire
you
life.
much.
I made a deal that he got to travel and see different worlds. He got to see different things. That is what we do. He doesn't serve me. If he wanted
Whatever
freedom,
keeps
all
you.
he had to do was ask me and I would find a way. But this way he
You
gets to
feel
see the world rather than being trapped behind a glass case for the rest of eternity.
you feel a lingering heat in you. It seems to like pulse away, hide away, as if it's just gone out somewhere, and then the heat comes back to you again. It kind of makes you feel like they've gone somewhere to check on something and then come back. Like it did feel like for a moment Candlewick left you and then returned. And she says, "Ah, whatever helps you sleep at night, dear mortal, but let
Don't
it be
liken
known
our
that
situation to yours.
no, I do not liken our situations, but I do liken raw energy, elemental powers. I know that they are not all simply made to serve. We have within ourselves a purpose that was born into our being the moment we were set ablaze. An elemental is much like a soul inhabiting an element itself. We have thoughts, feelings, and most importantly, we have a destiny. Yes.
Sorry, Cameron's had his hand up for a while. Are you going to?
I have not seen his stand because I'm not. Well, you're not even here at the moment. But well,
Oh,
what
is
is it?
this not happening while you're on the ground?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Alright.
Just out of curiosity, while they were on the ground, I don't suppose if I looked into the bag, the frozen flame had any objections.
Um, you weren't there present at that time, but
Cool. No worries.
it does seem like she did say something very pertinent to that. She did say that a flame is not meant to be still. If Irina wants to take that information and pass it on, then so be it. But yeah, she does say that it is unnatural for a flame. And likewise, she's saying right now that it's unnatural that an elemental would even want to work with a mortal being. Anyway, as I've said, we'll each of us have a destiny. That is the purpose of a soul, is it not? To achieve something in the world, to be cast amongst the other fates. Else, what are we but a soulless? If we were soulless, it would just be something like a rock. No, I believe a soul has a purpose, a burning passion, a desire. Perhaps you should ask what Candlewick's true desires are. Because I sense it is more than simply to see the world.
Well, then that's
I
something
am
that you
ready.
should bring up with me. It's none of your business. If we are there at the edge, I will cast Investiture of Flame. See, burst into fire,
Yep.
and I will walk. Like, is there like a pathway rather than walking onto the actual lava? Because I
You
don't
say,
want to sink.
you say you burst into fire. When you burst into fire, by the way, I want to make note that you haven't actually spent much time casting spells in here yourself, Irina. So you wouldn't have really witnessed it. But now, at the very edge of the elemental plane of fire, you do notice there is an intense heat that is almost unbearable even for you. But as you absorb that into your being, you become that fire. You are immune to fire, but you can tell this is way more potent than what you're ever used to. It feels like at least twice as powerful, if not more. And God knows what it's like even in the elemental plane of fire itself, not just within the city of Brass. Yeah, you are a blazing inferno right now.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Okay.
He says, "There, you feel it, don't you? Freedom."
Uh, Is there like a path or so I
There
can
is
walk
not.
out?
There is no bridge, path, or anything. In front of you is an entire sea of lava and magma. And the horizon, by
Alright.
the way, doesn't seem to get any darker. There is just light everywhere, all the way into the horizon until it reaches the vanishing point.
Using the investiture of flame was a bit of a waste then. Mage hand, hold
Oh.
the orb, take it out 30 feet, and drop it.
Okay. Let's see here. Well, Mage Hand, as you try to bring it up, such is the power at this precipice that even your Mage Hand burns as well. It's not just a shadowy apparition, it's actually like on fire itself.
Ooh.
And as you try to like hold the orb, um, I think Mage Hand is yours, isn't it? It's sorry, not yours. It's Candlewick, correct?
No. Cantrip, it's mine.
Yeah, but it's Candlewick's power.
I mean, everything
Is-
Irina has is Candlewick's power, so yes.
That's what I'm saying. She turns and says, "Ah, and here we have another complication. Must not be by Candlewick's will that I am set free, but by your mortal kind. You brought me
Oh,
into
I
this
just take
world.
it and I eat it.
That's better. There are simply unknowable things in this place that your mortal mind cannot comprehend. Your orb flies through. You appear to what you think is a barrier, but it doesn't seem to like impact anything. And as it falls and tumbles down, it impacts the lava. But it feels like it's a solid. You can actually hear it like shatter on impact. It doesn't just like fall into like a watery substance. It doesn't splash or anything. It just cracks if it just hits solid rock. And after that, you start to see there is a burst of flame, and it actually like spins through the colors, going from like purplish flame to a blue to to like a. It just spins through like orange, red. All of these different colors seem to be swirling around, and as that's happening, you see the same thing happening to Bernice as well. There seems to be like this kind of reversion, almost as if she's taking form her true form, and the kind of armaments around her, ones that look like pieces of like molten shoulder pads and helmet, they seem to like burst away and explode. And as she does, she rockets off into the distance, changing color and changing form as well. And as she kind of snakes through the air, it's like she's become like almost like one of those salamander creatures, like merging and swimming through it. And she dives down into the lava, submerging it as if like entering into a warm bath. And as she emerges on the other side, she's like at least 3 times larger than what she was before. And you can see she's absolutely enjoying this. This seems to be almost like ecstasy to her. And
Yeah, I'm just
she
turning
turns
around and
around.
heading back.
As you turn around, you feel like a heat is like left behind almost for a split second, almost like Candlewick is still in that space, watching this happen. You keep going.
Mhm.
Okay. You feel that heat get further and further away from you, to the point where your investor is actually stripped from you momentarily, and you walk out of a wreath of flames,
Okay,
and
I
you can
keep
see it.
walking.
Okay. All right. When you say walking, I assume you mean flying, because to get to the very barrier, you would have had to glaive all the way over there.
You did not say that, but all right, fine.
Well, look at the map again. You're on the
It's fine.
outskirts. There's
Like
just a
it's
sea of
fine.
land.
Okay. I fly back. It's fine. It doesn't make much of a difference.
It doesn't, but yeah, that's why I pointed it out. Anyway, you're back at the others.
Is it? Has it been done?
Mm-hmm.
How? Like, was she grateful, or did she say bye, or was it just?
He was happy, I guess.
You threw her, didn't you?
That's good.
Yeah, I'm right. I walk off and
You
I
can
just go
see-
find
everyone
a corner
can see-
to go and be annoyed in.
Yeah. Everyone can visibly see Irina is someone's pushed her button. For some reason whatsoever, you're not really sure. But she seemed incredibly irritated and upset with something.
You do also see that Llewellyn looks a bit on the sadder side. But it's done. 2 of 2.
Right.
2-year goal accomplished.
Alright, before Irina somehow manages to harness the entire power of this plane, because I would not put it past her, can we go back to the material plane, please, Chad?
Yeah, I would have put the tiny hut back up, by the way. While
Already working on the gate spell, and before your tiny hut finishes, the gate is already open.
No, I mean, I would have
Um,
done it as soon as Irina left.
she was doing it. He was doing it whilst you were leaving the first time.
Oh, okay. He held it for that long?
You know it's a long cast time, right?
How long is it? An hour? 2 hours?
Pick it up.
I don't know.
I mean, looking at the spell, it's 1 action to cast.
It's
Yeah,
alright.
that's
He's
what-
casted it. We go.
That's what I thought.
Alright, let's go.
Irina, we're
Irina.
leaving.
Come back, Irina.
I'll go and fetch her.
6 seconds. Well,
Knock knock. Is everything okay?
Yes and no.
Wanna talk about it over a drink when we get back and we're not sweating our fur off? Well, I'm not.
Drink sounds good.
Maybe not at Chad's though.
If you turn around and say we're going, I'm literally going to hold the empty scabbard. Be like, well, are you coming or are you staying here? You seem to like it a lot.
Oh, you're
yeah.
having a domestic. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
oh my god.
Oh,
There is a stinging heat from Candlewick, and you don't even feel like it's nearby you either. Feels like it's a distant one.
Fine. If that's what you
It
want.
feels as though you can roll an insight if you want, Irina. 'Cause it is difficult to read through temperature, but you're used to it by now. This is a stinging heat that they feel like it's definitely like a wanting to stay. It's almost like a stubborn. So it feels like they're digging their heels in slightly. Like it's exactly what they just said in Bernie. Well, it's actually your words. Exactly. You can almost hear those words repeated in your own head, kind of scorched into your mind, like steered away. And that is, you promised to take them to see the world. And I guess here is one said world, and it's a world that is very much in line with their powers, kind of fire. And it
It's all
seems
well
like
and
a
good,
shame
but
to
I
leave
can't
so soon.
survive here. It's fine for you. I'll be dead in 24 hours. And then where will you go? nowhere. You'd be
The heat
ending up
begins
in
to
another
simmer.
glass case. You'd end up in another library stuck there for another 200 years. Is that what you want?
The heat begins to simmer down.
Would you like me to bring out the mediator?
You can feel the heat's gone down to like a light sizzle.
Oh my.
Look, we're supposed to be friends, and if there's somewhere you want to go, you know you only have to ask, but it has to be a place that I can physically actually take you without dying.
A long sigh of smoke that exhales from the scabbard.
Look, you sat in that glass case for 200 years and didn't speak to anybody. You picked me.
There's a slight flicker of flame, which you know to be more of a smile or a chuckle.
You're not funny. I just tie the scabbard on and just head towards the group.
All right. As Irina goes, there's still this kind of slight puff of smoke surrounding them, just behind them, almost like Irina's dragging along a smoky apparition with them. Like, anyway,
Like a child throwing
that's-
itself on the floor in a supermarket because it wants sweet.
it's almost that. Yeah. When you return, Irina, there is this flaming portal next to the huge brazier. The master of the Five Spires has come to see you off as well. And he speaks in Ignan, but also in Broken Common, and says, "Ah, you are leaving then."
Yep. These guys can't handle the heat, so we thought we'd get out of the plane of fire.
Come back when you can. We'll be welcome to spar with you again.
Keep that in mind. But that's probably more a Sean thing, though. You know, I'd give it a try.
I'm sure our Afriti sensei will definitely want a rematch.
He can have it anytime. But
It's
I
a
expect him to be ready. I give a little chuckle and I'll give a bow back.
The four who were injured, and well, more than injured, who died, they come rushing around from one of the sides and down the steps. The master turns around and says, "All of you, you should be resting. What are you doing up?" And it seems like they've done a good job of recovering at the very least. And they all kind of line up and begin to take a deep bow. Fine. They wish to pay their respect to you as a thank. And they do all seem to take a bow, and they're like, "You're powerful fighters. Thank you for giving us a second chance to burn again."
Give a deep bow back. You must all keep on practicing. Master the lessons that you have learned. I hope you will do your monastery well.
We shall.
I like to imagine while everything was happening, Andy has taught them the Kashan song.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
She's done it
yeah.
while they're unconscious, so it's kind of brainwashy.
But like
for sure.
also taught them in their language.
Yes.
Yeah, I bowed to them as well, and I'm like, sorry for killing you, but it did give me a chance to help master my own powers. So I'm sorry, and also thank you.
Be careful. Know your enemy before you fire your spells.
good lesson to learn.
Yep, and if you see someone with a staff of power, kill them before they have a chance to break it.
Indeed.
Oh, and when we do get back, can you teach me how to do that 3-punchy move? That was awesome.
As long as you can teach us how to restore one's body when mended, and they seem to be still like holding the injuries from that previous round. But yeah, they seem to chuckle to themselves, and Chatters turns around and says, "Right, okay, time to go through this gate." And you see he uses the harp as a focus. I think I might still have enough diamonds. Ooh, I better check. Actually, I didn't use enough. I didn't use too many reviving people. You know how it takes like a gem worth 5,000 gold pieces to make this portal, right?
Yeah, but
A
it doesn't.
diamond's worth
It doesn't get rid of the diamond,
No,
right?
it
It's
doesn't.
just
No, it's the focus.
Sorry.
But those are what the harp has. That's why the harp has studded diamonds all in it. Like, hold on, I better just check. I've got enough. He starts counting them. Um, oh, yeah, because I saved some for resurrection as well. All good. Okay. That was a close one.
alright. Let's go.
See you on the other side.
And just as Karis is about to go, he'll say to these, "May your flames burn hot and burn long, but make sure you don't burn them at both ends."
I just
And
goodbye wave.
as Kashan begins to fall back,
Yeah.
stay spicy.
Oh,
Alright, that's not an insult here.
No.
Okay.
In fact, that's
We're gonna-
probably the slang here.
Stay spicy.
Keep it spicy.
Start saying that.
Flameo hot. Flameo
Just to like
Hotman.
customers. It's like, cool,
Just
have
like-
a nice day,
Stay
stay
spicy,
spicy.
Just like east side, west side, by side.
Spicy.
Alright, you're all back in Guidia. You return after a minute of traveling through the plains, and it is awful when you experience this because you are actually leaving the city of Brass, passing through the elemental plane of fire momentarily, because you're doing it in a dimensional funnel. You're semi-protected. It is the most uncomfortable experience you've probably ever felt.
Hmm.
Once again, it feels like your lungs are filled with toxic fumes. Feels like you're being burnt from the inside out, and your bones are being charred. But eventually, as that sensation expires, you still feel the lingering heat, but you start to see a blue sky and you smell fresh air as you finally come back into Chad's casino. And yeah, you may feel free to go about your business once again.
Yeah,
Oh.
as Karis is going through the portal, he's focusing on that feeling of going between the planes, hoping that it will help him in his understanding of making magic go between the planes, or the
Yes.
elemental types.
Yes. In fact, roll me a quick charisma check. Because this might just hint towards something else. It's good. Okay. Carried. Whilst this is happening, you feel like the fire is burning you. It's almost like you sort of realize how Irina manages to use her powers and stay on fire. She becomes that fire and she absorbs it into her rather than trying to resist it. Like welcomingly lets it in, and so you kind of let that heat wash through you into you. It is the most uncomfortable experience, but at the very least, it's better than trying to bar the door because nothing can fire. It wraps around, it burns inevitably fire. Rather than trying to resist it, you let it wash through you, and it's a less painful experience because it's flooding through you faster rather than trying to push against it. It basically expedites the process. And you realize maybe you could do the same with lightning in the way you've absorbed elements before. But I will say that much. But again, feels like that might be a step at the very end, but or maybe towards the
Yeah.
end. Regardless, you definitely get a hint as to how that really feels and works.
Yeah.
Now to try it with lightning. Okay. Stepping back on the solid ground, being able to gasp fresh air for the first time. Your skin, as you walk into the room, you start to see it steaming as moisture in the air is basically landing on your skin and evaporating. That's how hot you were when you came through here.
Wow.
And Chester's probably like, oh, fire alarm went off. Oh, is everyone all right? Oh, it's all of you.
Fire alarm.
Wait,
you're
you know how to cast fire alarm? I didn't even realize that was a spell. I got alarm, but one specific
Yeah.
for fire. Never heard that one.
Alarm, but it only detects fire.
Oh, awesome! I actually wouldn't mind learning that. Always useful with Irina.
That'll be going on all
Irina
the time.
is like the minute she gets out of the portal, she's heading for the bar. She leaves everyone and just goes.
And
So, but
I'll make
somewhere
sure
else.
she's okay. And I'll rush off.
I was more thinking sort of an at night sort of thing, just in case she accidentally combusts again. Always helpful.
Alright. You're back in the casino, okay? Drag you there as well. Yep. Up to you where you want to go next. What you want to do next?
Right. Well. Yeah. Let's. Karis goes. You know what? A drink sounds good. Throat's a bit parched.
And Yuriyun welcomes you back as well and says, you returned. How was the trip? Like you're all in one piece?
It was a close run thing. Guy broke a staff of power, exploded, almost killed me. That was fun. Fought a bunch of monks that had been trying to learn from some of the things that Kashan's trying to learn. But Llewellyn almost died, got eaten by a bag of holding. I almost
Yeah,
died
that's not
to
fun.
that same thing. And then, I sort of just indicate to Llewellyn, do you want to show them what we got? Because I think Llewellyn has it.
Oh, I wandered off.
Oh, he wandered
And they
off.
followed you to the bar.
No,
Yeah,
I.
we'll follow-
Oh, did they? Well, I went in to reinstate the magnificent mansion because it would be on
I
its
was
way.
gonna say maybe don't flash the star sapphire around.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's
so-
just say we got what we were looking for.
So I reinstate the magnificent mansion, except there's a difference in it now. The center fountain is now a statue of Furnice with her hands out, and lava
Ooh.
is pouring out as a lava fountain.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, actually. Definitely a cool look as well. I mean, Bernice was always that kind of type. Very seductive, very forward. It
And
makes sense for a kind of a
Now
Well,
I'm
let's-
just imagining like a hot tap and a cold tap, one being Furnace and one being the water elemental.
just Furnice, and he'll had stepped in and gone to the closest bar and got tanked.
Alright.
Hey, please.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so we got what we were looking for, Yuriun, so we'll be probably got a couple of last things to wrap up here, and then we should be able to get you back home and get things going that way, hopefully.
You really did it. Well, what can I say but thank you? You are a lifesaver. More than that, in fact. Potentially saved many, many lives. A nation savior.
Yeah, well, I'd like to claim all the credit to some extent, but Llewellyn did part of it. Well, to be honest, everyone did part of it, and I can't exactly claim to have done it for selfless reasons. I kind of, had my own reasons for wanting to save what we're trying to save. No, family.
Family's important. I hope to set up my own little family once this is all over.
Yeah, well,
Hmm.
just make sure they don't attack the Cloud Coast. That should be like part of your teachings to pass down.
Did they follow me? By the way,
Depends where you
Yeah, out of well, he went into the he set
the
up the
mansion.
thing and then he said he went to the nearest bar, didn't he?
in
He's
the
in
ma-
the mansion.
in the mansion, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so we
it's
would.
a it's a hotel now, isn't it? So
Yeah,
doesn't
I
matter.
think you're in. Everyone else is in Chad's casino's area.
yeah, probably would have joined those, but allowed Irina her space because Kashan's better at talking to people than I am. Well, technically, no, I'm better at talking to people, but Kashan's probably not less likely to say the wrong thing, or perhaps more likely. Either way, I think
You know what?
Kashan's the best.
Likely
person.
to anger her.
Yeah.
There's probably a load of patrons outside. They're all waiting to kind of go back in. They're like, I need to get back to my room, but and then there's like a snug. Like, okay, the mansion's back open, everyone. Sorry about the delay. Nevada, where have you been?
I mean, it would still be open. It'd just be like there'd probably be like an hour or two left on it, so I would have just reinstated it.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, you see everyone inside already, still having a grand old time as if nothing's happened.
I can imagine they're all inside, and then they just see like a flash behind them as the fountain changes.
Yeah, they're like, whoa. They're like, oh, no decorations. Oh. But yeah, there is a lot of patrons in here. It's like 3 times busier than when you left it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Time to get tanked on the hard stuff.
Everyone wants to drink and drown. Feel free.
I almost died. I lost a friend today. I almost died.
Yeah. But after all of that, you do finally have the Star Sapphire
We
in
do.
hand, ready to deliver back.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to do quick, or is that a wrap?
I don't know. It's up to you guys.
I'll look to Uriun because obviously might as well ask him. So we were considering taking Gandra at the arena, but of course we still need to persuade Irina for that. But Andy almost certainly isn't wanting to do it, so we're hoping maybe you'd be able to step in as our fifth. Maybe assume like some sort of human form.
arena
Yeah,
Potentially.
because there's like these. I mean, you've probably seen them about. You've got like Whirl and some of the others. There's like these 4 Genassis, one of each of the elements, and then there's like a
Right.
halfling that leads them. The
Yes, I've heard
Felidar
of them.
sovereigns.
I've heard of them.
Yeah,
They're
and
quite renowned.
yeah, and I think Kashan's sort of itching to test his skills against some strong opponents. It's been a while since I've had a fight against someone my size, and I'd kind of like to see what they're capable of, and considering they're from different elements, I might learn something. So,
A while since I've fought in human form, but I could give it a go.
I was thinking, considering our like party layout, I don't know if you could like maybe be like a druid or something, like with like still got some oomph to it, but like with healing capabilities.
What about?
I'll ask. Opal kind of walks over and says, "Yeah, I'll give you like a layout of a good druid. Effectively, I could actually just copy Opal's kit.
Which one's Opal?
Opal
Forget
is as his character.
Ah,
The Water Genasi druid.
yeah.
Okay. Or a paladin. Yeah, okay, paladin. Up to you.
Nah, I think druids will work.
Druid.
Mostly because I feel like Kirsty will play them easiest because they're used to playing
Yeah.
druids.
True.
Okay. All right. Well, if you set up the match, I'll be happy to join you.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to Chad about getting a sponsorship because it's quite expensive, but then there's a good amount of prize money and you'd be
I think
entitled
Chad
to your
already
share of that.
Ooh, that's gonna be awkward. And Chadney leans over and goes, yeah, about that, I actually already sponsor Felidar Sovereigns.
Yeah, but now you can say, here's like my reigning champs and here's the up and comers. Let's see
Oh.
which one of them is the true representative of Chadney the Fantastic, or whatever you call yourself.
Right. Sure.
Besides, based on how they're acting, I would imagine you probably want someone to take them down a peg or two so they're not quite as arrogant. It's always fun.
They are pretty much undefeated, so
Yeah, so what you do is you sponsor us in, maybe sponsor us in under a false name even. And then
Look-
what you do is, because we're the underdogs, the odds on us winning will be quite high. It'll be like 100 to 1 or something. So you put a small bet on us, you make a fortune, and we beat them.
that if you can beat them, I'm not trying to knock you guys. I've seen what you can do, but I just want to let you know right now that they're pretty strong. Okay, they're
Yeah, I know, but so
like
are we.
it's gonna be a tough fight. I'm gonna be honest. So,
Well, wouldn't be any point if it was easy.
but Karis, I would like you to make a persuasion check.
Yep.
'Cause that sounds like
Literally
it's bad.
because I think it, unless Irina's willing to pay, which persuading her to do that and fight will be tricky. Having Chad at least sponsor part of it.
Um,
Yay, dice in my
You are
favor.
you are devious with your little schemes, though. Placing bets. I hadn't thought about that, and I'm manager of a casino. That should be the first thing that crossed my mind. But you are the underdogs.
Yeah, I mean, imagine, like, so what you do is, so you can put a bet on us, but even, and imagine, right, everyone's going to be betting on the Felidar Sovereigns, like, everyone. So, and then when they lose, you get to keep all that money from their bets. Because you're the casino, so you function as a bookie, I guess, as well.
Effectively, yeah.
Yeah, so that way when they lose, you get the money, and if we lose, then
Mhm.
there's not massive odds, but then the few people who are willing to risk money to spend on us, you know.
All right. I can arrange the fight for you guys.
Yeah, that'd be useful, and if you could help set up a little bit of the funding, we can probably afford some of it, but like the full thing would be a bit out of
All
budget
right.
at the moment. We spent a lot of money at your casino.
We did.
Well,
We did.
Okay.
Llewellyn did.
I did.
How much do you need me to cover?
um,
How much was it? It was like $2,000, wasn't it?
Yes.
Go in. Halves is?
well, yeah, I mean, I've got.
Well,
I
I'm
mean,
not
I've
even
only
there.
got 40 to my name. I feel like I'm just gonna have a quick look at people's. Llewellyn doesn't have any gold.
He's asking you that without knowing where everyone's gold. He's just simply asking you. How much
I
do you
mean,
think sponsor you then?
I mean, if you could, I mean, it's 2,000 to enter. If you could sponsor maybe 1,500 or 1,500, then we could fund the other 500, and then when we win, we can.
I'll do you half. How about that?
Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. What I'll do is I'll check with the others, see if we've got enough for the half, but then that should be fine. Hopefully.
All right. Deal. I'll organize
Yep.
the fight, and he
Yep.
offers to shake a hand.
Yep, shake the hand. I'm like, thanks for this, and also thanks for the whole, getting us to the elemental plane of fire and stuff. And
Yeah, I still gotta get Llewellyn folk owes me for some diamonds. I might just take that off his incoming incomes for the mansion. Anyway, see you later.
bye for
I've
now.
got a rehearsal with Andy. We're doing a duet soon. Yeah, that heads off. Sean, Irina, was there actually a conversation being had here? Or...
Shan Irina?
So, are you okay?
I
Sean?
mean, there's probably some heavy drinking happening.
Oh, definitely.
Yuki is
Irina's probably
fine.
put
Good,
probably
good.
put Candlewick sort of on like that, literally where Kashan has drawn Candlewick on a chair on his own.
I'll just kind of slide a drink over to Candlewick and then kind of cock my head and then look to Irina. Does he?
She's a sword.
I guess I can just have his share. It should be okay.
I'm
Yeah,
sure he wouldn't mind.
Big drink.
But I don't seem to know him at all at the moment, so
I was going to say, what exactly happened earlier?
that Bernice or whatever it was said some things and
Llewellyn Spicy
No.
Bride.
yeah, made it sound like maybe Candlewick isn't happy and made it sound like I'd enslaved him, and Candlewick seemed to agree, I guess.
But you've been traveling partners for years, haven't you?
Well, yeah. Like, I take him places and he gave me the ability to leave the library. I mean, without him, I'm nothing. I can't perform the simplest spell without him. I failed the librarian's test 12 times before I got him. That's the only reason I passed. I am literally useless without him.
I look over to Candlewick. How exactly does the smoke look?
Well, as you try to take the drink away, you start to see it bubble, like boil. The drink you just stole is boiling.
Oh, I'll slide it back to him. I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Sorry. Back to.
Alright. As it's boiling, you see it evaporate, and then some of that steam merges with Candlewick.
I think we've just found something new about him.
Apparently he drinks.
Maybe he just started.
Again,
You
there's
feel
obviously a
a-
lot of things I still don't know.
I did actually want to talk to you both, I guess,
Hmm.
about what happened all that time ago on the ship.
What?
With the frozen flame and Candlewick.
I don't know what happened.
I looked to Candlewick.
You see Candlewick freezes. All the smoke kind of stops midair. It doesn't look like as fiercely frozen as it did before, but you can still tell it's slightly moving. It does look like it has paused for a moment before like resuming. Like,
Kind of like he's brought back like a bad memory, or like doing a double
no, if
take
you-
on the conversation.
if you don't remember, then I'll just tell you. Or rather, Kashan can tell you. It doesn't seem like it's triggered a memory yet. There is something. Kashan, I'll let you do the talking. The smoke has like seemingly frozen him in spot.
Okay.
It's an unnatural thing. Candlewick's never done this before. Not a gesture you recognize.
You see, it's It's been pondering on my mind for quite a while now because, of course, I still don't know the full extent of what the frozen flame actually is, and I mean, of course, this is one of the big, highlights of my life. But that was the first time that I had ever had, I don't know, an experience out of the ordinary. And I've wanted to bring it up for a while, but I've never really had the chance to properly sit down, at ease. Of course, after everything that we've just been through, I don't exactly want to have a strenuous conversation about it. But I thought if there was anything on your mind that potentially, I mean, if you can communicate with Candlewick, if he has anything he has to say.
I just turn to Candlewick and just be like, well.
See the smoke kind of shudder. It seems to remember what he's talking about. Can we get rid of this? I can.
No, Candlewick!
Oh. Yeah, seems to have like stopped, like frozen again, trying to perhaps conjure a memory.
Mine was better.
You feel like a massaging heat at the sides of your temple, as if to try and help you remember.
All I know is when he went near it, he disappeared. And that frightened me.
But didn't you say he disappeared earlier? Or you felt like he left you earlier, but he was still around?
It was different this time. That first time it was like there was no choice. Whereas in the elemental plane of fire, the connection was kind of still there, but it felt like he wanted, or part of him wanted to stay behind. But the link was still there. It's a situation of, if, and I gesture to like this Gavin, if that is too far away from me for a certain amount of time, I get side effects.
What
he
kind?
and I are literally, I get very cold. Very, very cold, very, very quickly. And it's essentially, he is the heat within me. He is the source of body heat, in a sense. Take that away and I'm not going very far.
Well, that actually brings me on to my other point, because you said that your mother was part of the same monastery that I was.
For a little while, yeah.
So if you're linked with Candlewick, perhaps there's a link with that? There's some link towards you and the candle, or or Candlewick and the candle. This is, oh sorry, the frozen flame.
I mean, maybe my mother is the one who took me to the library in the first place, so potentially.
Is there a chance that she might have come into contact with it?
With the frozen
flame?
Well, I don't really know anything about it. I only know what you've told me of it and what I've seen. Candlewick was in the library for probably more than 200 years or so. No one really. It was an empty scabbard. No one.
Smoke seems to be giving a cold temperature, like Candlewick, as if the trail itself has gone cold.
As I said, it's
And
hard sometimes to understand what Candlewick is saying. I don't know much about him, only what he decides he wants to tell me. And obviously that's not very much.
Have I ever
there's-
told you about my family's history with sentient objects and our hatred for them?
Don't
think that's
really
more of a
talk about
player
your
thing.
family.
Yes, you're right. Another drink, Yuki.
yeah, Yuki comes over and gets another drink. What Candlewick was clearly trying to remind you of is the time in the boat when the flame did freeze from the frozen flame, that interaction with it. You already back then sensed that Candlewick wanted nothing to do with the frozen flame, and that it was something of an unnatural fire to them.
I
And
thought
you
it
can
was
see
the
the
other way
smoke is
around.
what? No,
Mm.
God
It
no!
was so.
Your powers froze. They kind of stuck in place, and you were unable to like move or even interact with Candlewick. There was a cold sensation of your body as if Candlewick had been left or Candlewick had frozen over, and you'd almost like lost your
Yeah, but
ability to
like
control.
Candlewick got absorbed by the frozen flame.
Yeah, and then it tried to escape, and when it escaped, it froze in place like this smoke trail that was escaping, and then just paused.
Yeah.
And it was up to both of you to pull both of your powers away from each other, and then it finally snapped away. And Candlewick swirled around, danced, and ran back into the scabbard.
Okay.
And after that, there was this wary heat. Whenever you ever got near the candle, there was this searing pain, as if like get me away, get me away. No, God, I think you completely misremember that. That's why Candlewick was like,
Okay.
remember.
Okay.
The smoke kind of like wafts in your face as if like trying to get rid of the old stupid ideas, and saying
I'm
like
drinking
this is how it
heavily, so
actually
Yeah.
might be it.
Um,
Candlewick was you had a bad time with Candlewick and the Frozen Flame.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I
That was a
know it was
bad-
a bad time. I remember that much, but
So why
I
do you
thought
think
look, it's been a really long week. Okay.
no, it is fine. But yeah, Kashan will. Before we get on to the subject of family, Jesus, Kashan will say, perhaps there's someone that we'd be able to talk to about this. I'm praying that somewhere in Ladorvu's writings there's something about the flame, what it is, what it means.
So if you want, just from what you've read already, give me a intelligence check.
Oh boy. I'm good at those, I am.
40.
6.
Funny enough, you don't remember anything about the flame being wrote. You don't remember it being mentioned. Not even like a favorite keepsake, like a candle that they used to carry with them all the time. There's nothing that you remember off the top of your head about specifically the frozen flame or its special properties or anything like that.
The problem is, as well, is I don't know if I can use my legend lore on it because Candlewick hates it.
Oh,
I cannot. Anything I do comes from him. I can't. If he don't want to touch it, then I'm not gonna be able to do it.
I don't want you to risk it. However, after that encounter, I would like to find out why at some point.
there's a searing sensation in your mind, Irina, as if it's pinpointing a memory, like burning into your head, and it's literally when Bernice said, "A flame is not meant to be still," and it seems as though Candlewick shares this sentiment. and it's not Candlewick saying this, but it seems to be using your brain to pull forth a memory and use that to communicate. That makes sense? Did you hear that?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. You can feel like Candlewick is basically using your memories to communicate. And the pinpointing the when Bernie said a flame is not meant to be still seems to be searing on that, like a fire poker is pointing at that and going this.
So it's not meant to be frozen. I mean, that's obvious. It's frozen. Fire doesn't do that. Nothing does that except for ice.
I'm gonna count that as a fail. I have an idea. I have a cunning plan.
Okay.
Have you got a match?
A match.
Yes.
Probably. I mean, I have a tinderbox.
That will have a
Yeah,
match,
you-
yeah.
Yeah, if you want to strike a normal fire, yeah, you can.
Okay.
I mean, there are candles around the room anyway to light this place.
Can you light the flame for me?
Yes.
Kashan will take a step back from Irina. We'll get into a stance. And he lunges forward with a fist towards
Punch
the flame.
candle.
This
You're
is
punching the candle.
yeah. This is drunk Sean. 13.
Wow.
You definitely punch the candle out. Are
And
you trying to literally hit it or just put the flame out like
and I want to use my stunning strike
on the candle itself or
on the candle itself or on the match itself.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely snap the candle. The match is in pieces.
And the flame?
A flame went out the moment your fist went past it.
Kashan sits down defeated. Well, I'm out of ideas.
So,
However, did everybody see how quick that punch was? I look around.
That's alright. Hester says. And
Perfect.
we've all learned that
You're a
song as
little
well
bit
about
slower than normal.
I tried.
Jesus, okay. Well, after a not so fruitful conversation, kind of come back to square one where you're like, you have no idea why Candlewick reacted that way and why it seems to see frozen flame as unnatural, other than the fact fire should not be still. And that's an obvious conclusion anyone could come to, but it seems to be Candlewick going on and on about it. At least.
Maybe somebody in Thornbridge would know.
Yeah, I mean, if Irina can't cast Legend Lore in it, maybe another wizard has to.
You said you dealt with a lot of people in Thornbridge.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of the librarians go there because that's where you can find really interesting artifacts and new technology and, you know, it's a cornucopia of knowledge.
Well, I know that part. I think that is going to be the number one place to go, but I'm not sure if I'm ready yet to return.
There's no rush. We still have other things to do right now.
Well, I'm just not sure if people will recognize me.
That's fine. We can dye your fur. Or we could shave your fur.
No! I've only
Just
tried
suggest-
dyeing it once. And
we
it
could get
didn't
you
go.
a wig, like a full body wig.
I mean, it's kind of hard to mask yourself when you are literally the complete color everywhere.
What about like
Shave
a
him.
lion's mane? But like in a really bright color.
I mean, people just. No.
The lion's mane, but then you leave the fur on his hands and feet.
I'd end up looking like Farron. Ooh.
All right, well, this conversation definitely goes on and on about
Other.
strange things as you continue to drink on through the night. But it is coming up to 10:30, so we might have to call it here.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
I would like to end on the fact that Chad probably after some time, like during either, I don't know what time it is, you haven't even been outside, but sometime later, does finally come back to the group and announces to everyone, it's like, right, you're lucky. They said yes.
Who said
Excellent.
yes?
The Further Sovereigns. They accept your challenge.
What challenge?
What?
Beg pardon?
Oh, hasn't Carius told you yet?
Okay.
I haven't had a shit. Karis isn't there. Karis is.
I'm not even nervous.
Thought it would take longer to do so.
You
Turn
do
my
actually
head.
hear Llewellyn shouting throughout the thing, Chester!
This is sometime later, so I'm guessing you would have.
Carius!
Yeah, so I'd have headed back to them and be like, right, Kashan, you still want to fight in the arena, right?
I'm brandishing a stool ready to whack him with it.
Yeah, I've sprint towards him and probably a freeze frame as he's about
They said it fine. But yeah, they've accepted your challenge, and I'm being so nice. I'm actually fronting some of the bill. I'm putting 1,000 gold to sponsor you guys, so don't screw it up. You better win, okay? Also, I just want to announce there's everyone else. There's a new price for the Wand of Wonder. It is currently the most expensive it has ever been. So buy it now, everyone, to make sure you can, flex on other people. 9,801 gold pieces. Yeah, suck it
So
up,
you make
Buttercup.
up for that 1,000 that you've added to our bill.
What? Who, what?
9,801 gold pieces.
Well,
Damn, son.
I was
And-
planning to discuss it more, but he sort of got there before I had a chance. But essentially,
Well,
Yeah.
just so it works when Whirl is here. He gives a little wave to Whirl, and Whirl can get around places pretty quick. So news travels fast. Plus, they've been itching for a fight for like the past 4 sessions, so I can't hold it back any longer for them. Anyway, just thought I'd let you know that the fight is today. So get ready for that. See you all soon. Bye.
Today?
I throw the stool.
Gilly
No.
Chad intercepts.
Not
Oh,
tomorrow?
no, I throw it at Carius.
Okay.
Darius just sort of lets it hit him. He's just like, you wanted to talk to her during the fight.
You're an
And
idiot.
Urian's agreed to fight with us. Kashan, I know you're itching for a fight. It's kind of what you do. I'm itching to fight some people. Well, looks like he might be fun. And Llewellyn is up for it, so, you know.
Sorry, what?
The arena, you wanted to take part. I remember we had this discussion before we went into the elemental plane of fire, that Kashan and you both wanted to do it.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, I've kind of gone through a lot of motions since then. But if everyone else is down for it, then I guess, yeah, sure.
I mean, I
Sweet.
thought it would be a way to, have a bit of fun after everything that we've gone through. I mean, like, it's not a fight to the death. It's a fight to test our skills. We get to meet some new people. We can test
But
what
you
we've
still did
learned.
it even though I told you that I couldn't.
You don't have to fight the arena directly. You can fight the other people.
Irina gets up and she walks out of the casino.
Oh. And I
Oh,
think with that, we'll end tonight's session. That's just a good place to end it on. Little crucible. All right. Good job, everyone.
I'll just pour Candlewick
Got
another
there in the
drink.
end. But, jeez. All right. We'll pick this up next week, and hopefully the arena fight goes well. And then after that, handing the jewel over to the dragons, a second audience, and then, well, wherever you decide to go from there, because you've got plenty of destinations to still fill out the dry oasis. Back to what's it called? The Damsir port as well. Might head back there as well. Check up on
Yeah.
the family and stuff.
But probably
And
our
ask,
first port of call is to go directly back to dealing with hand over the Star Sapphire and get that done, so that at least we're saved everyone, and then we can relax.
Yes.
awesome. All right, so we'll do that in the next session. Until then, see you later. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.